What's good, everybody? Sorry about the delay, man.
For your safety, anyone who
Sorry
asks
about the
to use
delay.
your
Let me know if
line
y'all can hear
should
me.
not
Let me know if
be
y'all can hear me.
anyone. Station at LAX is
I just
prohibited.
just
Thank you.
touched back down, man, back at the crib. Let me know if y'all can make it, if y'all can hear me. 'Cause I can't hear anything. I got a new phone and everything, y'all. But the show must go on. Let's go. The game was won in the trenches. What's going on? Okay, good deal, good deal. Man, what a day, baby. What a day. Just uh just touched down back at the crib, man. It's been a long week. I Great trip back home, man. Great recruiting trip. Uh, Recruiting event, I must say. Great recruiting event. And talked to Austin, ASVP Visuals. He's supposed to be coming on as well tonight. And it's late, man, but I ain't cancel. I don't cancel, man. We go on when we go on. So had a couple of delays, man. This travel situation has been kind of crazy. If anybody knows, you traveling, you just kind of got to get it. You're at the mercy of the airlines, really. So that's just kind of how it goes. But nevertheless, we in here now, baby. We in here. So, man, I finished up the Amazon Prime documentary. Wasn't as bad as we thought. Wasn't as bad as we thought. We pretty much saw it already. I'm gonna throw this up real quick. Yeah, we saw it. We saw it. We it wasn't as bad as it wasn't bad at all. It was actually pretty good. So if you hadn't had a chance to watch it, I finished up the last two episodes on the plane, and it was actually pretty good, man. It's it's the close of a chapter, and you know we're gonna close that thing up and move right along, right? So that's where we at with it. But another thing I got, man, is James Houston, man. Shout out to James Houston. Shout out to you guys, man, for voting. I mean, James Houston won the Rookie of the Week, man. That's special, man, and it's such good timing because of the fact that you know we're in the heart of recruiting season. So we're trying to get a lot of players that decided to enter the portal to come back home, and you know, man, James Houston is balling, man. 7.5 sacks through his first 6 games, broke an NFL record. Man, that's special, man. And we're gonna make sure that we celebrate that. So definitely wanted to highlight bro, man. Hey man, it's all right if y'all gotta go to sleep, go to sleep. You can watch it tomorrow. That's the cool thing about this. This thing don't go nowhere. It's 9 o'clock where I'm at. So it's I apologize for you folks that gotta go to bed and get up and go to work. You gotta do what you gotta do. But the show must go on, man. I love doing this. I love coming on talking to you guys, man. And it don't have to be no long. We damn sure ain't gonna be on here no 4 hours. I can tell you that right now. That ain't happening. But so far 240 in the room, man. Go ahead, man. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the all of that good stuff, man. So anytime we do these live streams, you guys are notified. I really appreciate the support, and it's because of you guys. Uh, uh, yeah, man. Hope you guys had a good one, and we'll go from there. You know what I'm saying? So, nevertheless, I'll tell you. Hold on one second, man. I had a text message come through, but that was kind of distracting me a little bit. But nevertheless, we're gonna celebrate James and move right along, man. Let me get this last one out. One more other thing. Shout out to the young man whose father was on the stream last night, Jason Brown Sr. Jason Brown committed today. We got ourselves a new quarterback, another quarterback. We already had one committed. We had 2 hit the portal today. JP Andrade and Norman Douglas both hit the portal today. That could mean that, maybe the new offensive coordinator and the coaching staff let them know that, hey, listen, we're going to be going in a different direction, and your services are no longer needed. So we don't know if that's the case, but when you see quarterbacks coming in and Then you also see quarterbacks going out. You know, every offensive coordinator they have their own type of player that they want in their system. Uh, so yeah, we wish them well. You know, the Andrades don't live too far from me, so I would see them often on the. I would actually see them often on flights from Cali and over to Mississippi. So great family, great support system. I know JP is gonna be just fine, man. He's a great kid, man, and he's a grad transfer. Got one more year eligibility, and somebody will give him an opportunity for him to go be great. Same with Norman Douglas. He graduated. He's an alum now. Him and Nugget graduated, best friends. Nug is on the way to the NFL, and Norman has got 2 years of quarterback eligibility left. So, uh, if y'all see those brothers on Twitter or social media, be sure to stop by them posts, man, and show them nothing but love, man. Wish them the best, and it don't cost $1 to be nice. Um, but Jason, man, we had a chance to interview him. Interview will be out soon. Um, Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club. It'll be on Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club podcast. So be sure to be locked in and be tuned in for that, and we'll go from there, man. So uh, so yeah, I I'm waiting on my bag, y'all. So normally I don't check a bag, but I guess they felt like they needed to make me check mine in and whatever. So while we doing this, I'm gonna go ahead and open the streams up because I really want to make sure I could hear. That's my only dilemma. I couldn't hear any of the audio. That's why I didn't do my regular intro. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and drop the stream. I know Austin and Kaylin wanted to come on. I'm gonna mute this when the lady be talking. Hold on just a second, y'all. All right, y'all. You don't need to waste no time. Austin and Kaylin, if you guys are watching the stream, go ahead and hit that stream and come on. The stream is open. The stream is open. So y'all go ahead and hop on if you want to. I'm gonna remove this banner and keep in mind, y'all, I'm operating this from my cell phone. So uh, that's what we gonna do till I get to my whip, till I get to my whiz zip. But man, it's a mess out here if you gotta travel. But that's what you do, man. Uh, he and I were talking earlier. We uh we both man, it's big things. 2023 is our year, man. It's our year. Thank you for doing your part to prevent the spread of. Man, I don't know about y'all, but I really hate them automated announcements that just play on the circle. It's so damn annoying. But anyway, don't nobody be listening to that stuff. Nobody. Supposed to be talking. But the stream is open, man. Hold on just a second. Let me see who. Oh, there you go. What's what's good, bro? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
But I can't hear you. Ain't that about a
Oh man.
dog with feathers? Hold on one second, bro. How about now?
Well, did he get booted? Yep.
Now. Go ahead. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, I'm just gonna have to not use Bluetooth because I can't hear Jack Diddley, man, on my Bluetooth headset. I'm gonna take these off. I can hear you on my speaker though. What's
Okay.
good, brother?
Man, not much, man. Working hard, man. Just trying to.
Man, you know I'm hard at it at all times, man. You know how it is.
Yeah, I can't believe your flight it was from Jackson to Charlotte to LA.
Man, it was about the stupidest route tree I ever seen. But if I wanted to get home before midnight, hell, I had to go to Charlotte. That was the only way to get there.
Oh,
so
yeah.
so yeah. Let me add Kayla. There you go. Hey, sweetheart, how you doing?
I'm fine. How are y'all?
Doing wonderful, doing wonderful.
That's good.
All is well. We it's on and popping. Let me walk over here. What's on your mind, bro? I know you said you had some stuff that you wanted to discuss. Uh,
Well, I think the biggest thing that I want to discuss is me and Kayla have been working hard trying to figure out how to replace the void in the media department. And I think
yeah,
that's been the biggest thing that we've been trying to iron out. And I think we finally figured it out. But there's like one big hurdle, well maybe probably two big hurdles that I think that's just got to be addressed. And I think it's the idea of like people doing multiple stuff. Now, when I say that, uh, I mean like filming practice and stuff like that, and filming the games and stuff like that. So I mean, obviously it's important. It's just as important for social media as well. I've already got like a game plan for like game day operations. And this is just strictly just talk about social media or content purposes. And so
right, right.
I got the game plan. I think it's just gonna take the coaches to figure out that obstacle in terms of like game film, because I think that's the biggest thing right now. And I need certain certain members on the staff, on the media staff, to be there in order for me to be there, or for me to lock in with JSU.
So how you feeling about it? You feel like we're gonna be able to hit everything that you think? Like, is there optimism? You feel like there's gonna be some drawbacks? Like, where we at with it?
I feel like there's probably gonna be a little drawback. I think initially, and the only reason why I say that is because obviously, when you start talking about money, that gets people turned around. But it's not in a sense of like overkill. It's more so about like this is like the bare minimum. If you want to fill this void in order to retain what we had, but then elevate it, because like what I plan on doing is elevating it. Like what I mean by
Right.
that is not typical like, and there's nothing wrong with the iPhone videos, but we're talking about like player introductions. We're talking about like one on one with like the Short brothers, like or like just anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so much content that
Yeah.
could be done. But if you have the team to just focus on that instead
Right.
of like doing like three or four different things, I think that's where we're gonna be successful at. And so um, it's really gonna take. I really gonna need the administration's help in terms of like getting these people situated so that way we can roll. Because a lot of the stuff that I plan on doing is for will be employed. Like students will be helping young students who are creative and
Right.
create different stuff out for the football team. So my idea is to show how successful this is going to be, and then we're gonna like run with a campaign that's gonna like be a production company for Jackson State, so that way it's gonna go across the board. But like people want to see the product first, and then be like, oh, this is what we need to do. So like, say for instance, if I get the keys, the start of that day, I need somebody to be keeping up with the analytics on like our all the social media platforms and see how much drastically it's going to change. And so, it's just at that point, it's just really about getting opportunity. But I can't do it if I don't have certain people in place. And Kaylin is one of them. And then Phil Minotti is another person.
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing is just getting that message across to the right people. I don't see how. I mean, it sounds good to me, but again, I guess the where I could support maybe is figure out like where we at as far as the gaps though. You know what I'm saying? Like what's stopping it? But you schooling me because I'm not a part of those conversations, man.
And I think if people understand, I think if like the more the more administrative people understands like what's going on, like especially with the covers for like the basketball team and stuff like that, because we know they're gonna do good, and that's something that needs to be showcased as well. And so like we got to figure out what we're lacking at each sport, because I can tell you how many camera people that you need or how many photographers you need at each game. You probably need two photographers for the basketball game and then like two videographers. And then obviously like you could have some preset graphics ready for each game. But it's really about getting the content. But we have to understand people don't need to be bouncing around. They need to be focused on that one sport. So we need some editors. That's what we need to do. You see what I'm saying? Because like it's gonna be a team effort. Like I think that like that's what people get it confused at with.
Here's my question. I would say though, in regards to that, this is like, so we can it be done on a smaller scale and then build? Like, can we start there? Because at HBCUs, man, we always tend to
Go.
do more with less. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just think that's going to take a little effort to change that mindset. But at the same time, you use all your advocates and you use everybody who's on board with it and just try to figure out how to close those gaps. That's why I mentioned it to President Hudson when he mentioned it when we chatted through via text. I was just like, I mean, let us help with that if we can figure out what that is. So we need specifics. You know what I mean? I get it. You know, we want to go for the gusto, but my only question would be is how much can we scale back so that you can get in the door and then you can say, all right, now that we got this rolling and you see what we're doing, now let's expand. Because sometimes with people that don't know what the hell you're talking about, there's so much skepticism that it's almost like, we don't really need it. We'll be fine. And that's not true, actually. But when you got people that don't know what the hell they're doing, that don't understand what you're talking about, they'll act like, well, it's not really needed. You know, we call them dinosaurs in the corporate world, man. I mean, dinosaurs are terrified of progression, bro. So
Yeah.
anytime you see that, you almost gotta feed them baby food, bro. So I would say, like come up with a plan, come up with a master plan, and then scale that shit back to like an HBCU rollout plan. Let me get my foot in the door and then build this shit. You see what I'm saying? Like that's how we got to do it. If that's what we got to do, then that's fine, But I think you lay it out in both ways and let that be just kind of like a worst case scenario. All right, you know how people have multiple packages. Yeah, I'm gonna say you this, but if you don't roll with this one, let me give you this budget saver. You know what I mean? And then just kind of go from there.
I think our scale back plan is really focused on the football team, but like in the back of my mind, we talked about, well, what about all the other sports? And so,
Yeah.
obviously, like that's the seesaw effect right now. Like it's like we're trying to put all this effort into the football team, what we're missing out on now, and then now we kind of lose focus on like what the sports that are happening right now. And man, I can pretty much like give the blueprint out. I think it just, again, like we're just gonna have to like say, hey, this is the project we're gonna do first, like you said, and then kind of just work the way up. Because again, like I'm already confident in myself to create content and get that out and know what needs to be posted. That's why I said it's important to have certain people on my team in order to make it work. Um,
Right. You need what you need. You need exactly what you need. And let me say this too about it. Football is football, man. Football pays for everything. You
Yes.
feel what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like basketball as well, but there's some sports that's non revenue generating sports. We just kind of got to make sure we have it. I think the biggest thing in my mind, just from my trajectory, is to get it in place. You know what I'm saying? Like go in with the basis of what we need and then build. You got to create that urgency and that need, because I think with it being that there's a gap. This is my thoughts on it. Since there's a gap between the time that the everything kind of stopped up until now, people tends to go back. They revert back to their old habits. You know what I'm saying? So it's like business as usual, but I think you just need to get in front of the like really. I don't mind being a part of that. If you want to pull me into those, if that's possible, you know what I'm saying, to pull me into those meetings. I'm a salesman, man. I ain't. It's hard for me to know we need something, and then you know people. I don't care about rebuttals. I hear no every day, and I still get it. You see what I'm saying? So that's my point. But I think this to me, this is a no-brainer. We got to have it. It ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I think we need to go for the as close to the gusto as we can to get started, and then build from there. You might not get 2 photographers for basketball. You might only get 1. You see what I'm saying? But if you got 1, I get wanting to have 2, but you might only get 1. I don't know, but two is necessary. But you get what I'm saying? Like, and I'm using the conversation I had with Mo Sims as a slide rule. He was saying, like, I know we talked about the strength and conditioning coaches. There being like 10 to 12 at certain schools, and then you get to the HBCU. Now it's 1 dude covering 6 sports. You know what I mean? So that's just something to keep in mind. Kaylin, you can jump in anytime you want to get ready.
Okay, so we've been working on a layout. I'm actually over the next couple of days gonna be really kind of how I showed you like the Tiger Collective, how I kind of made a visual of it. We got tons of notes, tons of things that not only what Austin and I want, but also what Marco wants, Feminati, because he's a part of it as well, and he's been a part of this program to where he understands a lot of things that we're not privy to. So it's a team effort. And I like, as far as the football, I'm glad that you mentioned that. Football kind of takes care of everything. Well, we can kind of get broad like really quick, because when you're in the athletic world, you want to think about all the sports, because that's how I am. I want to think about all the sports. However, it's good to focus on the football first, because that's the big team. And once we have the blueprint set out for that, it's easier for us to use that same blueprint to move in the other direction towards the other sports. Now I definitely want to definitely implement media with this season of basketball. And everything will just trickle down once we have everything solidified with football. Austin and I talked about how we need the administrators to really take in what we have, really want to negotiate and work out something with us, because we got $1 million idea, but the budget ain't no $1 million right now. But we
But
want to
that's
be
but that's normal. I mean,
right.
that's been that way, and I'm pretty sure everybody that has tried to crack the code, like I said, I don't. Yeah, and we this is open discussion, because I love this, but this ain't, I don't speak for the university. I think it's just get with the coaches and figure out, what I'm saying, what's needed to make it happen, and then we just see where we fall short. Like, if we fall short, then if the alumni really want this, then there may be an opportunity to, what I'm saying, to fill in the gaps on that. You get what I'm saying? So, but those are the types of conversations that I would, recommend that you have in that regard. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's you're building it from scratch.
Right.
Not really, but you're building on what's there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's our slogan, though, right? Building on tradition, blazing new trail. This is a new trail for us, so we got to be willing to do whatever. But again, we not making those decisions. The school is, so we just we gotta make sure we just have those right conversations with the right people, and then go from there. That's all.
I think also like to kind of help with the resources in terms of like other photographers and videographers. I think there's got to be a teaching curve, because if the students are just coming out there, whatever sport it is, and nobody's really teaching them like what is a good shot and what is not, like what is a shot overblown or blown out, like or how to use the sun as your key light and all this other stuff. Like these are things that like I feel like the students aren't really being taught. Like they're just kind of just thrown out there to do it, because like even with the Celebration Bowl, like there should have been like at least 10,000 photos taken from Thursday to Saturday. There should have been, we should have got photos like from even when the players were like
that was a lot of photos. They just didn't come via Jackson State. You know what I mean? Which brings us back to square one again. You know what I mean? Like,
and so
go ahead.
I was about to say, because that's part of the system that I want to do. I want to train them up until the spring game, because like the spring game, I could train them like during practice and stuff like that, and show them like, hey, this is not a good shot. This is a good shot. Your shot is overblown. Oh, this is too blurry. Turn your shutter speed up so they can be crisp. And so like these things that I could teach them on the way to the spring game. And then like our spring game, we could do a test run of like the operational part that me and Caitlin kind of like put together. Like I remember discussing with you like being more interactive with the phone and like having like fan interactions and stuff like that during the game. So that would be the perfect time to test run everything and see where these kids at when it gets to that point. Because we got some time. It's just gonna take a system and somebody to teach them what is good and what is not. And I think that's where I think we were just so focused on just getting the body out there, like, and we're not getting good pictures. Like, I mean, Aubrey's more than likely going to be in the NFL draft, and we don't have like great stills of him that we can showcase, or probably video. Like they're going to end up using like the game recap clips to show a sack or something like that. You see what I'm saying? So, which is nothing wrong with that. It's just like we don't even have our own content. So that's kind of like where I'm at with that.
So
No, you're right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, as far the way I see it, and this is just somebody that don't really understand what y'all understand. I think the biggest thing you're gonna have to do is it sounds fantastic, but I'm gonna just be real with you, bro. Like, hold on. No, man, they'll tell you if it's Avis. Damn, all of them loud hollering. No, you got to dumb it down, bro. You're gonna have to dumb it down to a point to where a kid can understand.
Shoot, I hope we didn't lose.
right.
Over there.
He might have muted himself. Let's see. He might have muted himself. FH.
Man, my bad, man. I've been sitting here talking and I didn't realize I was on damn mute. My fault. No, what I was saying was that my admonishment would be to dumb it down as much as you can. Strategically approach this. You approach it with a strategy, and the strategy would be to implement it. Like, for example, like you said, you're right. We don't have any of that stuff, but that's what gave the occasion. That's the chaos. That's the infancy of the whole setting up something new, blazing a new trail with this media thing. Because if there was that stuff, it really would have kind of, you know what I'm saying? There would be something that they could say, okay, we got something. But when you don't have nothing, I think the priority should be don't throw too much out at one time, but just also, I would just say, approach it from the standpoint of just getting in place, establishing it, and then scaling out. You get what I'm saying? Like, because you're not going to be able to do everything at one time. You get what I'm saying? But once you create that I don't know what the hell you call it. Once you lay the foundation for what's in place, and then you always want to expand or do something greater. You know what I'm saying? Keep elevating, and then you do that, and then it might be in the form of free work. You might say, "Look, I'm gonna go do this, this, and this, but look, this is what we can do." But we're not doing this right now because it's going to require more resources. But if you create that appetite for it, then they'll come back and say, well, shit, hey, we need to go in that direction too. You get what I'm saying? So let me ask y'all this. Where are you at with the conversations? That's a good question because that's what I'm really trying to hear. Like, where are you at with the conversations with the coaches and like the administrators and whatnot?
I think the biggest thing that I didn't want to go into a conversation without any like system or plan of action. And that's kind of like what I want to make sure I have my ducks in a row before I have a plan before talking to you.
Totally.
Because I think the biggest thing, like you said, like scaling it down, like even when me and Kaylin was talking, we kind of like scaled it down to just football. Like, I mean, obviously we have a ton of ideas, but we had to scale it back down and tell ourselves like, okay, let's just do football, show how successful it's going to be, then possibly do a campaign where we start raising money to actually start, this like to elevate the production part of Jackson State, because I think that's the biggest thing. Like us is we as Black people, we are already creative. And so like if somebody's out there teaching these kids that's on the school property, like just to show them like what is good pictures, what's not, what's a good shot and what is not, I think we'll be good. But somebody has to be there to teach. And I don't know the ins and outs of the communication department, what they're doing exactly. But for us to not able to have enough shooters or resources, I think that's got to change. And so we do have a plan.
I agree with that.
We're definitely going to talk. I'm gonna start with Coach O first, but I think where you come in at is I need a seat at the table to talk to the president, athletic director. Cause I mean, I know the athletic director, but like just setting that all up and having a serious conversation. We can do this, but you gotta let somebody come in there. Cause like it's almost like one of those things where you ain't got nothing to lose. Cause right now we not posting nothing.
Right.
You have,
yeah, we bare bones right now, Jack.
You have nothing to lose, and what you have is you have these young, intuitive creators.
Hey, and let me throw this in here real quick because I'm not reading the comments, so I don't have a clue what anybody's saying because I don't have my Bluetooth. I got a new Bluetooth and a new phone, and it ain't connecting to the site for some strange reason. I know Jackson State. I know our base. I know how we get down sometimes. Sometimes we share, and this information, this video, this live stream is probably gonna fall in the hands of somebody. I'm putting out a disclaimer because if somebody watches this and they have the ability to make these things happen, please don't get offended by progressive ideas as if somebody is overstepping their bounds or stepping on some toes. It's all in the spirit of elevation. My man, I have no clue why this dude feel like he needs to scream and holler with this big old buses, man. That is driving me crazy. Like, bro, we all right, let me leave that alone. Like we're standing right here and they pulling up to the spot. And everybody's looking at the bus he's screaming about. Like, come on, man. All right, that probably wouldn't even be an issue if I wasn't doing a damn live stream, and the average person probably would have canceled it. But I ain't canceling shit because this is what we do, right? So we're gonna keep it going, man. We gotta keep the momentum going. And I hope everybody that hear me know what I'm saying and get what I'm saying. We're trying to elevate, and we got a lot of momentum. And I'm saying we're gonna have to use our resources to fill in the gaps. The resources are the alums. We're willing to, if there's a willing to do that, but we got to be able to have specifics, data. So we say, okay, this is what we can do. This is where we're going to fall short on this plan. Okay, this is what we're going to need. You follow what I'm talking about? So that's where we got to get to. But I think Coach O is a great place to start because, he can set that table. Him and Ashley. And I'll do everything I can. Just let me know when y'all want to try to do it, and we'll just go ask. Hell, I cold call for a living sometimes. You get what I'm saying? So all you can do is say no. What the hell we got to lose? You know what I'm saying?
I
Um,
mean,
uh,
Go ahead. I'm gonna mute. They're on my right. Hold on, y'all go ahead.
you got it.
and I just add this in because someone Drip Bunny, maybe we reach out to students willing to volunteer or intern. So I'm glad you mentioned that. You said community service hours, another good avenue. Thank you for mentioning that. That's all a part of our strategic plan. We literally have a media relations blueprint, game day operations. Like we have, and I know we probably gonna have to since Ken gave us some wise counsel, we probably gonna have to go back to this and scale it down just so it's in just in a more simpler format for those in authority that they can see it. But that's a part of the plan. We want to kind of have it structured to where we have GAs and then graduate assistants, and then we have interns, and those are the students. And we are going to do a hunt if all of this pans out as we plan. We will do a hunt out to the communications department, as well as the graphic. I think we may have graphic design. If we have a graphic design department, we're gonna find all that out and look into that. But we're gonna definitely be looking for students to come in to keep things going. It's gonna be structured. We have specific jobs, and then if all things plan, I'll just add this little tip in. Me and also was talking about it earlier. For those who know, I do a lot of reporting, and so we'll have a little recording group of girls, and we have a little name for them and everything, and they'll be in the stands interviewing fans throughout the game. Though also as well as
Sounds awesome,
tailgate. We got some things going. I'm not gonna
man. I want
say
all
the
that. I want all that in place. And the only reason I didn't mean to cut you off, I'm just saying, like, when you have something like we just watched that documentary, right? And that documentary was Emmy worthy, like the quality, the production, and it was rushed though, because it was only 4 episodes. They could have made that into 10 episodes, honestly, because it had so much content. So when you have something like that, you can't go back to nothing.
right.
You can't go back to mom and pop operation. You gotta step it up, man, and we gotta be willing to do it if we really want to put Jackson State on a level, because that content pays for itself. You got to establish a platform that's going to put. So we have to have willing eyes and ears when we approach this, and not just assume, okay, we don't really need it. That mentality got to go away. That's not a part of the mantra. We're not blazing a new trail by doing what we did yesterday. Because what
Well,
we did yesterday was we gave holistically over to an entity that didn't establish a system that stayed in place when they left. So Jackson State is left without. And what you're talking about is establishing something for Jackson State. You
right.
get what
So
I'm saying?
this will be here once we're gone. It's a blueprint for those to come. So it's like this isn't a one-time thing. This is something that creates order and structure that prolongs throughout the years. And I want to make this clear. I want to add this in too. The campus resource therapy students. Okay. And so we also want to make these beneficial to those who are GAs and interns. We're going to teach them what we've learned, our expertise. I'll be teaching them things I learned from my undergrad. Austin will be teaching them things he's learned through his professionalism in photography and videography, editing, and all those type of things. So this will be an outlet for them to get work. What do they call it when you have the
Hey, real quick, this is what somebody just said, that people are using cell phones to get like social media content. That's actually incomplete. People are using cell phones to build up their personal platforms that have access. So yeah, we can simplify it, but when you're talking about production and producing and all that other stuff, I mean, that's not a system. Somebody having a cell phone, like whose cell phone we gonna use? You need cameras, bro. Go ahead, bro.
Can I interject? A lot of people are saying like we have a graphic design department in the communications. I think a lot of people are saying like we have just different departments. I think the problem is you have those things, but we don't have a system in place to allow these kids to create at these football games. So who is anybody saying, hey, if you go to these football games and help get this media content out, get this graphic content out, and like be helping post like during these games and stuff, like we're doing ourselves a disservice. Like, yeah, we're gonna have like a ton of creative students, no doubt. So the problem is communicating that with the kids or the department heads to help the football team out, to help the basketball team out, to help the soccer team out. And I think that's where the disservice is at. I've seen it firsthand where departments will only use their own people and say, "Oh, you can't go to the other department because we don't like sharing across the board." And I ran into that firsthand, and I saw that. So it's not to say that like that's a great idea to get everybody else involved, but again, it goes back to the department heads. It goes back to basically back up to the top, because if it was me, what is the point of like having that education there for mass communications and not use students to help push that, whether it's Instagram, whether it's graphics, whether it's photos. There has to be some type of thing, because again, like there's a ton of jobs in the NFL that you can showcase your work and show like, hey, I can do this for an NFL team. The NFL as a whole also hires out content creators to come help them create content or edit videos and stuff like that. So yes, there's departments, and there's graphic designer, photographers, videographers, all that. But we have to, as a collective, use them, because if that was the case, they would be being used with the basketball team right now. Because I know a guy that's doing the stuff right now, and he need help. So what happens when
That's a great point. That's a great point. It's hard to argue with that. I think, like I said, is AD have a conversation with we gotta have a conversation with Dwayne. You know, I think AD Robinson is only going all he gonna do is basically point you to the right direction. You know.
Yeah, and I think again, I think it's going to be important because, like me and Caitlin have seen it firsthand, like at a different school, and see how they roll. And so we'll scale it down, but we want to make sure that like we kind of build off of that and showcase y'all can do it. Y'all just got to pull the trigger.
Did you say we reaching out to other schools and stuff like that? Did you say that?
No, I meant like us learning from another school. Like,
okay. I was just trying to make sure. Yeah. So speaking of that, I hate to cut you off. I've spoken with some people that I've worked under, that were in high positions at Mississippi State, and they said we're going to get back with me just to kind of help add to certain places, just really to help us with our blueprint, to show them, to bring them a great piece of what we can bring to the table. So we have people. So to mention that, I've been outsourcing to where people I know that have already been in this position, pretty much in this position, and have excelled for help in how to do this and how to get things going. Yeah.
No, it all sounds good. I think, like I said, have you guys been able to like try to set up a meeting with Coach O? I know they're recruiting and they about to get rolling.
Yeah, because I talked to Coach O. They're about to get ready for that this weekend, I think, right? I think that's what the last thing he told me. So
I haven't gotten in contact with him. I personally haven't talked to him. I've just been talking to Austin and just trying to get to the place of where we're able to talk to them.
Yeah, I mean, it's as simple as what I'm saying, reaching out, setting it up. I mean, that's really where, because I've been anxious to see like what's the update, but got to get the conversation started before you can make progress. So because that way they can decide on what exactly what direction Coach CC want to go with media. You know, does he want to do the full out, you know, what was done? I know Prime had, you know, multiple people covering him and internally, but we'll just have to see. But that's where the start is at, in my opinion. And that ain't something that none of us really can do. Like I said, we can have all the best ideas in the world, but the university got to be willing to roll with it. You know what I mean?
And I think that it's just important to for everybody to understand. Like me and Caitlin kind of just kind of completed the overall blueprint. We're just gonna put it on paper, get it done, like make sure it's like easy to read, and then send it off. Because I've already reached out to Coach O about like setting up a meeting at least with the head coach too as well first, and then kind of like work our way back up.
Yeah, that's a good strategy. I mean, the other thing would be, I mean, Dwayne Lewis, because he's SID and everything. Just making sure we cross all our, you know, T's and dot all our I's, and you know what I'm saying, do everything in order. Because the biggest thing is that when you're trying to sell a big idea, you want to eliminate as much resistance as possible by not having anybody to be pissed off because of the route that you took to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I know me knowing Dwayne, like he needs to see a plan. And so that's why I didn't really want to have that conversation just yet until we get it all like on paper. And so like that's the biggest thing right now. So now that we kind of like jump that hurdle, like kind of like figure out what would be the hiccup in the proposal and all that, that's where we're ready for that, like the next step.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, a plan is always necessary when trying to do big things, and sound like we right there. So I guess at this point, the only thing I would say, like I said, is look at it again, make sure it's simple enough to so that a fool might not err, and set the meeting up, and then shit, come back and give us updates because I'm getting tired of people inboxing me asking me about what about this and what about that.
Yeah, I think it's just gonna be like communication across the whole school. Um, I just because I'm not necessarily like there, but I can at the end of the month I'll be able to. But um, just in terms of like just relaying that message, I think that's gonna be important. And so if people understand like this is what we need, I think that'll kind of like put the pressure on them to kind of like listen and then kind of just you know either yay or nay. But I mean we kind of got the blueprint right now, so we're just waiting on the callback right now. So
Man, I would say even if you get a nay, man, I regroup that thing, bring it back, and scale it back some more. But the biggest thing is just going to be I don't see them not wanting media. I was told that there was some things in the process, and maybe you were part of that conversation. You know what I'm saying, as far as what's meant by that part. But we gotta get the moving, man. So we gotta go ahead, and if that plan is in place, I wouldn't even waste no time with it. Hell, reach out tomorrow and try to set up a meeting, see when the best time to schedule us some time to talk, and just be, you know, be aggressive about it, be intentional about it, and then go from there. I mean, like I said, all I can say is no, because again, the noise get loud when you're dealing with Jackson State fan base, man. You can't. We obviously need something because right now we don't have anything, and a lot of stuff is. I'm not gonna be critical. I'll just leave it at that. You know what I'm talking about, though.
and I honestly don't think they'll say no. Um, I think there's gonna be more. Is if anything, I think they're just gonna say refine some things, or they might say no to certain things. But I don't think overall, I don't think they're gonna say no, because it's a good plan. We literally lost probably our biggest media machine, and we just need to create our own.
I think that is
Yeah, I mean
important.
the content itself is going to actually create revenue, and you notice because I mean we're seeing it. You know what I mean? Like when done right, it pays for itself. It's not a burden on a university from a financial standpoint if you got a good system. Like I was told, you know, Somebody posted the YouTube page, Jack State YouTube page. If we have a sports athletic YouTube page, somebody posted it. Post the link in the chat for somebody, because I think somebody mentioned there's about 9,000 subscribers already there. So they got the subs and the eyes. We just got to start funneling out content.
If I was over that, we probably have 100,000. To be honest with you.
Said it again.
I said if I was over that, we'll probably have 100,000 subscribers.
Well, without question. I mean,
I was trying to look
that
for it.
that's we can get there easily. I mean, simply because we hot though. We hot right now, so we got to capitalize on this momentum, man. We can't let this. My man's just dropped the whole documentary covering the last season. Now we got to have something else that's gonna be able to. I mean, the video, the 2 minute. You know what? Let me play it now. Hold on.
No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry.
Now I'm playing this because I want people to remind people of what it looked like. You know what I'm saying?
Good friends we have, and good friends we've lost along the way. In this great future, you can't forget your past. So dry your tears, I say. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be
Being around a lot of people of our own color and our own type is it's truly fun.
Your talent need to come back home. You need to play for your people. You need to represent our people.
I'm a big picture type guy. I'm looking at the whole HBCU.
Hey man, hey, listen, this is what I want to say. And I'm gonna we're gonna open the stream back up. So I want to get some more folks on this stream to kind of give their opinions on this, because honestly, if you want that kind of quality, man, which I know I want it, I'm pretty sure everybody else do as well, and I know the university does as well. We're not gonna talk as if the university don't want that level of it. I think the biggest thing is just trying to figure out how do we get from point A to point B in a new space that we probably haven't done before. So it's going to be some growing pains, and we got to expect that. But I think we should approach this whole idea with optimism, positivity, and and a willful energy to be willing to do whatever it takes. So, for example, if the university say, "All right, okay, I like the plan. All right, it's going, yeah, we ain't where we at. All right, alumni, if y'all want this, yeah, we got to go in our pockets and pay for it." You know what I'm saying? We got to be willing to do what we need to do to get it done. So so pause right there, y'all. I'm gonna let me put this thing out there. I'm gonna drop this link in the chat again. Y'all come on if you want to come on, chop it up, talk it up with Austin them. But the work speaks for itself though, bro. It speaks for itself. Like, it is what it is. And I'm saying that's movie level content. And you know this because you know the amount of videos you had to touch to edit just a 2-minute clip like that. That's a lot of work, man. Because boy, you covered a lot in that one little 2-minute clip, you know.
You know, when I think I have a nag for like emotions. And so like that's like my favorite part about doing videos. Like I know how to like bring out emotions out of people, or whether you want to be mad or you want to be happy, like, you know, what was the vibe? And that's how I felt uh, after that celebration mode. Like, you know, end of an era, but end or a beginning of a new era, but end of a chapter. So that's kind of just want to kind of bring the two together. And I know like it was important to get like good shots of TC, like, so I was like right there next to him. So I was like, let me get this shot, you know. So I already had an idea. I told the AD to kind of like just stand there and watch the players warm up. So I kind of already had some stuff lined up like before the game. So
Yeah, and so to expound on that, the things that we have in place, it's not just move by the fly, whatever comes up. We plan things out. We have things strategically set out because we know what you guys want. We know what you guys are used to, but we also want to keep up with that slogan. We're building on tradition, blazing new trails. So what we are bringing to the table is something new. It's something fresh, but it's a new beginning. You know, we're putting away the old and bringing forth the new, but still appreciating what we had in the past, but, you know, just growing from that. And we're just not in this just to just be doing this. We have backing, we have professionalism,
Absolutely.
and we really care.
And
So
let me throw this in there because somebody might have just joined the stream. You guys, this is Austin Robinson, ASVP Visuals, and and Kaylin. I can't see your last name, so forgive me.
McCoy. It's yeah.
Yeah. So the thing I want to say is that the whole point of what we're talking about is to cover every single sport, because what'll happen is that we'll start watching this and we'll think that we're talking about setting something in place solely for football. We've already covered that. We're talking about something, but here's the thing: basketball is a much smaller team to cover. Football is you need that's going to be your largest investment is in football. So if you establish something, obviously you're going to establish it in the biggest space that you can establish it in. All right, man. Oh, I know it's parking, man. This dude here, bro. Hold on, y'all. Go ahead. Man, my man, I need to call him Captain Obvious. Y'all go ahead and do that. Y'all go ahead. I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna get my vehicle in. Then I ain't gonna be no more noise. So sorry about that. Appreciate y'all being patient with me though.
we are planning on setting up meetings and stuff like that, so we kind of get the ball rolling. It's just important for us as young creators and young inspiring change. It's just important for us to have our ducks in a row. So we all understand that like we gotta have that conversation, because if you don't have that conversation, then nobody knows that like you're trying to get their attention. So we want to go just make sure we go through the proper channels. I know a lot of people like going to be behind the move. It's just going to take some time to kind of like pool resources together and to really kind of like basically we're trying to like stop the leak of like not posting anything right now. Like we're really trying to like figure out a way, how do we stop this leak? And so that's where we're at right now. So I've already reached out. We're gonna try to set up some meetings because we literally got done with the proposal today. So we'll make sure it's all typed up and ready to go, and then we'll set that meeting up. Because I think Ashley Robinson, he's seen my work. Coach O's seen it. Coach O is campaigning for me to be there.
Yeah, and the whole world done seen it, man. They know what it is.
And TC, Coach TC, he's seen it. He even retweeted it. So like, it's good. Like we're gonna definitely, because like even if I got the keys, the first piece that we're gonna do is Coach TC. Like we're literally gonna do a sit down interview have questions and stuff like that. I'll probably just get Kaylin to do the questions, and then I'm just gonna be the DP behind it and record it, film it, put it out there. That's content right there. And so and that's what we want to do. Like we want to take what they were doing with the iPhone, but make it better in terms of like the springtime, the dead season. Like, cause again, like I already know I have a ton of ideas just on the video aspect of what we can produce and what we can bring to light, and then what like type of story we can tell up until the springtime.
Right.
And so when people, I was going to just say, so when people then go look at the Prime video and then the documentary series, and then they'll come back to us and like, oh, we got all this content out. You know, we just taking a blow right now, but like quality over quantity is going to be the thing of 2023. I'm not going to make sure that we're just not putting anything out, especially any type of drama, none of that goofy stuff. Like we really going to make sure that like we shed a light on these kids and like just make it fun. Like I saw somebody made a comment about they want to just see the fun side of like, you know, the football. You're going to get that. And you're going to get that by tuning into the Instagram stories and like posting them up. And then like we'll probably do exclusive content only on YouTube so we can build that up. Because my goal is definitely to get everybody involved in across all platforms so we can start monetizing, and that money goes back into the production side of JSU.
Yes,
Well, I mean, when you talk about guarding the yard, that's really what that's all about. We need a guard the yard campaign, because the way you guard your yard is make sure that the story is told, and it's told in a healthy manner. You know what I mean? So, I love it, man. And I'm telling you, listen, Jackson, listen, don't be, this is my admonishment to Tiger Nation. And I know I don't have to really say this to anyone, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Don't be afraid to elevate, man. You know what I'm saying? Like elevation sometimes it requires there's no such thing as comfortable growth, you know what I mean? So we got to be willing to do what it takes to get to that next level. And I know we got the right stuff in place. I just can't wait. I'm gonna say it this way: I can't wait to see it all come to life. You know what I mean? But go ahead, Kayla.
Oh, I was just gonna add on to, you know, what Austin is saying. We ain't even telling y'all everything, but we do want to give y'all little hints and stuff, because we want y'all to be excited, because this is something to be excited about. We definitely want to have interviews with Coach TC, players and stuff like that. And while y'all on here, make sure y'all follow the Dream Team podcast. That's where I did a few other interviews with players prior. We haven't posted anything recently, just is because of, you know, a lot of stuff has been going on. But if you want to even look at some things from throughout the season of just interviews with players, that's a place to go watch. But we want to include those type of things within, you know, having our new coach and just new recruiting. We want to help with recruiting as well. Like, this is something that's not just going to benefit in one aspect. I know we keep saying the same thing, and I'm excited about it. Like, I want y'all to be, I know y'all excited about it, but I just want people to understand and continue to back us on this, because I think that by you guys support, that will help as well once we go talk to, you know, those in authority, you know, because y'all got our back, y'all backing us, and y'all really want to see things happen as well. But it's so much to come, and we just want to make sure that it's done right. We don't want to rush things, but we know it's important to be timely. So we're definitely going to be we've been getting it, but we want to come correct. So we definitely thank y'all for the support. I just been want to add on to just really what y'all been saying, because yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm trying to connect my phone. Y'all go ahead. I'm good, man. Hold on, just say.
He ain't struggling over there. It's like-
Man, I got a new phone. Hey, listen, hey, the content, I'm telling y'all, I know y'all talking about content, but boy, oh boy, I got the new device, man. The stuff that's about to come from this bad baby about to be lovely.
I'm
Anyway,
excited to see that.
man, I'm excited. You know how it is, bro. I got 2 damn phones, and now the other one still working, and it's annoying right now. Hold on, y'all go ahead. Hold on just a second.
I'm a student. I'm a grad student.
By the way, man, if anybody want to come on, man, y'all more than welcome to come on. I know it's late. Hell, don't speak your mind. Speak your mind. That's what we do on this stream. Y'all more than welcome to come on this thing now.
I'm just looking
Don't
at
be scared now. Don't be scared. This Jackson State, baby. We what we do. This ain't Jackson State. This Ken Clark. We talking Jackson State. Let me make sure I clarify that because I don't need nobody
Yeah, go ahead and clarify that.
mad at me because they think I'm saying I speak for the university. I do not speak for Jackson State University. I'm gonna say it again. I do.
You were saying
This is the Ken Clark 1400 live stream. That's what it is. I don't want nobody to get it twisted now. Yeah, we love getting things sideways now. But no, this is good. This is good discussion though. I'm glad y'all came on because it was gonna be short if it was just me. I mean, for real. I'm just getting it. Man, listen. This has been a journey, man. Been gone a week, man. You know what I'm saying? So it was absolutely a great trip, man. So
no, we don't have access to the IG page. Until stuff is solidified, if stuff was solidified, yeah, I'll be taking over the IG page. But right now,
get in, the ball is gonna be rolling. We just need soon as we get the ball is rolling, because we already got the plan. So it's like all we need is just the yes to get the plan, to support the plans and all the things we have set out to happen.
and I think it's going to be important because people are going to see, they're going to realize the content is different. It's like, whoa, what is this? And so utilizing pictures, like coming up with game plans, like every week, like, keeping up with the people that are in the players that are in the XFL, like CJ Holmes. So he's got a season coming up with the Orlando. What is it? Is it the Dragons?
I'm not sure. I just interviewed him. I think during the SWAC championship.
Yeah.
And we talked a bit about the XFL.
Yeah, he's excited for that. It's the Orlando Guardians. That's what it is. So he's excited for that. Can't wait for that. I asked him, do they sell jerseys? So I can I don't know if that goes money into his pocket or whatever. So I'm gonna try to get one if they selling. So
I mean, this is awesome. What we just have gold, and we just gotta use it. We just gotta use it.
How long have you been waiting for a yes? We haven't been waiting too long because again, it's more about like making sure we get all the stuff ironed out. Because I'm thinking about the scenario of like.
Hey Mo, I didn't forget about you. I ain't mean to cut you off, Austin. Mo said I forgot about him on the basketball tip. Come on the stream then, man. I'm traveling, man. What you want me to do? Come on the stream. The links in the chat. If you want to come on, come on. That's all I got tonight. I'm offering you an opportunity to speak your piece. But go ahead, brother. I ain't mean to cut you off.
I was just saying, again, just to reiterate, we just want to make sure we have a plan before we just start talking to people because,
totally.
People just like to talk and then nothing gets done. So if you
and that's the point. That's absolutely correct, man. Like my boy Marcus Jones said, I stole his thunder once he gave me that little quote he said one of the things we do more than anything is we complain and we explain, but it ain't followed by no action. So we don't really do nothing. We just be talking and complaining, you know?
Right.
Being solutions driven is something that is uncomfortable for some. If you're not a business minded person, then it can look like, and this is the thing you have to be mindful of. We got to be mindful of when you're pitching grandiose ideas, the the people whose minds are automatically set on minimalization. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't take all that. We can just do it like this. And it's simply based off of their thought process. Like, if you're not in this industry, you don't understand what all comes with that. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I got a YouTube channel, but Austin and me and Austin talked the other day just about. And let me say this too, because I always say what's on my mind. I say what I know people be thinking. I ain't put Austin up to this. The cop, man, hey, bro, just come on the stream and talk about it, so I could try to help you. This ain't no ulterior motives. I'm gonna put that out there for the negative Nancy's that be thinking folks be trying to con up something. I always have to do that, bro, because ain't nobody said that, but I have to throw that out there just in case, because I know how people could think. But
Nah,
this is my point. But I didn't realize just how much went into this. You get what I'm saying? When you don't have a like again, somebody said, "Oh, well, such and such just used the iPhone," but he also had a famous dad, bro, that gave him inside access. Hell, that's easy. If all I got to do is be around my famous daddy that everybody want to listen to, and that's not a knock on Junior. He's blessed, man, to be in that position. You feel what I'm saying? Because when you look at the others who have the access, they don't have the same amount of traction that he does. It's because of who he is and who he's around every single day. So if all I had to do was push play on my cell phone with my pops, then hell yeah. But that's an individual platform. So you can't think about an individual platform when you're talking about building a system for a university. And that's just all I wanted to say. I just wanted to put that out there because that's why I love the dialogue and the chatter, because this might reach somebody, and they might have had a spirit of resistance. They might say, you know what? I'm glad they was talking about it. Let me give a little bit more thought to it. But go ahead.
I just want to
okay.
you
got it. You got it. Yeah.
I just want to bounce off what Ken said with an analogy. You have two different shows. You may have one show that's called The Game. Some people know about that show, The Game. Then you have a reality show of a famous individual, like Coach Prime. They had their own reality show. Viewers will attract based off of what's there. Okay, so now you have a huge image, a huge idol to some people. They're going to automatically watch. But The Game, they have to have producers, they have to have writers, they have to have people who come up with a game plan to whereas they can get the views, they can garner those people who are attracted to what they produce, that they have a good storyline, that people will continue to watch the shows day by day. You have to create that want and that hunger for people to continue to watch. And I believe that's the situation that we're in. We're having to create something that's beautiful for people to continue to watch. We don't have that star power. We do. Let me correct. We got a star power now, but we don't have that simplicity of that. We have to build, and we have to create a complex to where it's simple after us, after that, and I think that's.
Sorry about that, y'all. I had got a call. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I think that I wanted to hone in on it because it's not as easy to build off of. Well, I will say this: we have a strong foundation. We don't have sand. Okay, we don't have little dirt. We got a strong foundation. So it's important for us to build on this strong foundation. That, like I said, I think we have the blueprint for it. We just need to continue to have y'all support, and I think we'll be able to garner great things from this. But I definitely wanted to, so people can understand, it's not just, it's easy to just boom at a, like, okay, let's get things rolling like this, let's get it rolling like that. Like, it takes time. And yeah, so yeah, to whom much is given, so much is required. So this requires a lot of work that people don't see on the back end. Like, you know, Austin has other things, I have other things, but we out here, we're getting things going behind the scenes because we want to make something happen, and it's something that can be done. We're trying to make sure it can be done efficiently and effectively. So.
I think it's important to kind of like just understand this, even if it's time for me to move on, because I have other things that I want to do eventually. Like eventually I want to, like, you know, an Oscar for being on a movie as a DP, like director, photographer. Like, so, but if I leave, there's a system in place. Somebody else could come in and do the same exact thing, and we already got.
Hey man, they don't want you to hit the portal, bro. They keep saying that in the chat.
Oh,
Here's the thing: we gotta sign him. We gotta sign him up before he can hit the portal. Right now, he's a free agent. We trying. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I say the portal, I mean, like, I'm leaving. I've already notified my job that I'm leaving at the end of the month, because being a creator, a full-time creator, that's what I want to do. That was a shift. I think the shift happened the beginning of the year. The shift happened after the Alabama State game. So, like, I've already wanted to do that anyway, but like, it really drove it on. Like, all right, I'm walking away from my architecture job at the beginning of the year. Let them know, hey, look, this is it. So that's what I mean by the transfer report. Like, that's what I mean. I ain't want to just put that out there that I'm like quit my job.
Hey, you got these folks losing their mind. You can't use terminology like transfer portal, because our fans, bro, we suffering from PTSD right now. We can't do transfer portal. You got to say I'm looking to change my course professionally or some shit.
Look, I'm looking for a church home.
No, but the beauty of this, man, is this is the cool part about this. Like I said, listen, we in a situation where we're trying to build, man. We're trying to build. And honestly, I don't know. I don't know what this is gonna look like. I don't know what the end result's gonna be, but I'm super duper optimistic about it though. And I'm talking about in relation to Jackson State, because I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. And I don't have to tell y'all this, and I probably don't have to tell the alums this, or fans and supporters. But man, Jackson State is hot as fish grease right now. And if Jackson State markets off the momentum that it has right now, it would be unbelievable. It would be unbelievable. And I'm just saying, we got so much content. Had a chance to meet pretty much the majority of the staff yesterday. And I can't wait until everything is official and everything is announced. And I know you have people out here that's doing their own little Inspector Gadget research in regards to that. But if you have the system in place, this content creation, man, just the amount of stuff you could do with just even the coaching staff. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so much you can do. It's so much you can do. And it's just like, we got to get something in place, and we need it in place like yesterday. And I know we're further along than where we were when we first said that, so that I don't want anybody to panic. I'm just saying, like, we just want to reiterate the fact that we can't be lax about it, because I'm telling you, when things get quiet, the spirit of complacency, I'm using Coach Prime's words from the documentary, the spirit of complacency creeps back in, and it starts to drown out the spirit of optimism, the spirit of creativity. You feel what I'm saying? And then we start telling ourselves, yeah, we don't really need that. We're going to be all right. Like what I said, we're going to be, no, the hell we ain't. We cannot go back to what we were doing, because what we were doing didn't work. We can't. This is an absolute necessity.
It's good.
This is a necessity.
Hey Ken, you know Rochelle's probably watching this and gonna beat you up because you said I don't know what it's gonna look like. You gotta speak it into existence. You know she gonna
Well,
beat
no, it's not. No. I'm not saying nothing wrong. I don't know what tomorrow's gonna look like. I said, but I'm severely optimistic about it. Here's what I'm saying. You can't bag me in no corner because I said I don't know you don't know what the next 5 minutes gonna look like. Nobody does. You gotta live it.
Yeah.
But I ain't saying I'm gonna try.
Woo,
I didn't say that. I said, hell, I don't know. I said I don't know what it's gonna look like, but I'm excited about what's to come. How's that misinterpreted? Rochelle, if Rochelle in the chat, come on and stream and you do your what's she at?
I don't think she in the chat, but
Because I'm sure if she was in the
There go
chat,
Travis. Travis,
would've
what's up,
been
man?
there.
Oh, what's up, Travis?
It's good, brother.
Man, you got it, man. What you think about it? What's your thoughts, bro? Travis, what's on your mind, brother?
He said riding a Bentley for 2 years and go back to a Honda Accord.
Oh, man, I got photos coming through from the yesterday. This is good stuff, man. This is good stuff. Man, I got a photo, Austin. I'm gonna send you, right?
Okay.
Like, I want you to see what we had going on yesterday. I ain't gonna share it, but I'm gonna send this one to you.
Okay.
It was a different idea, and it just goes to show what we had a good day yesterday, man. Check your phone, bro. I just sent it to you. This man. Zoe's sending me like 1,000 photos right now. No, man, this is so dope, man. Because why the hell is this thing showing?
Okay, there we go. I'm back. I don't know what just happened. I did hear you say you was gonna share me something. Oh yeah. There you go. That's what I'm talking about, Ken. Right
Yeah,
there.
you see what we
That's
doing, bro?
That's
You see what we doing?
Yeah.
Hey, you see the setup. We coming, man. Hey, we coming. Like I said, that's what Coach said. We coming.
I was so sick of that phrase. I'm so sick of that phrase. Let me get your thoughts on the kid being pretty much exiled off the team. The clip that's going viral.
Ooh, I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot about a couple of things. Before I even get into that, I want to say I left out one player, man. I want to actually congratulate Kevin Coleman, bro, for he committed to Louisville. Shout out to K3. Wish you the best, bro. That's little nephew. Got to know him and happy for him. I have no ill feelings about him exiting, him leaving. I could expound a little bit more, but I'm gonna leave it at that. I know his family's probably happy. He's a little closer to the house. His name is Kate. Kate, he is three different. He like to go his own different route, and I think he's gonna excel in that in the Coach Brom's offense at Louisville. So I'm gonna be keeping up with Kevin Coleman. He committed today.
Is he where's he originally from?
He's from St. Louis, Missouri. Well, he's from Missouri,
Okay.
St. Louis area.
Okay.
And yeah. He's closer to the house, man. I know Kevin wanted to. If you guys caught that Isaiah Spencer interview, one of the things that he broke down in that interview was how reason why he wanted to come to Jackson State. One of the reasons was because of how he felt like he was going to be utilized in the offense. That's something that a lot of the players often really pay attention to when they're being recruited by coaches, because the reality of the matter is this: if you're an outside guy, but you're being recruited to come in and they're going to slap you in the slot, a lot of wide receivers don't like that. And I think that was something that Kevin had to really deal with last year, because he's a shorter, he's a shorter, 5'10", 5'11" type guy. Usually people automatically think because you're that size, you're an inside guy. Mm-hmm. But in actuality, he was an outside guy. So I feel like some of the production probably wasn't there that he probably wanted to. I know his pops wasn't very happy about. I ain't gonna say wasn't happy. I just think that they really felt like he was the one. You know what I mean? He was being utilized as like a 3. So, it is what it is. But in regards to the documentary, whew, man, I looked at the so I'm on the plane, right? And I look at the this is trending. Dion. And the second tweet was like the clip of Mark Pope, being voted off the team. And you just got to go look at the comments, bro. The comments, it ranged from, well, there's a lot of people emotional in this thing. If you this, and this, then you can tell who have never played competitive sports. But the consensus was that was total bullshit. Like you could have handled that better. People felt like Coach Prime did not, like his mind was already made up, and he kind of, you know what I'm saying? Even though the players voted, people were saying, okay, when somebody wanted to suggest to give him another opportunity, he was very combative of that. Like, but when people agreed with him, that's what he wanted. So I don't know what happened, but for it to be shown in that documentary is damn near career suicide, man. It's almost like that was because we didn't know Austin. I'm people like to call us, use the term insider and all that type stuff, but I didn't know what happened to Mark Pope.
Yeah.
And I'll say it this way: I wouldn't have, like, it was uncomfortable for me to see that and not really know. I thought he just hit the portal and he just left. I didn't know. I still don't know what was said, but if you take the context of what he was saying, it sounded like Coach Prime was saying he walked up on him and caught him saying some stuff that was derogatory to the program or whatever, based off the context of what he stated. And that's why he used the analogy of toxicity inside of the family. So I guess Prime was like, you know what? We gonna let the team vote, and whatever they decide, that's what you're gonna do. Me and Zoe talked about it this morning because he had already watched it, but after watching it and seeing it, I mean, that was like, damn, that was tough. It was tough to see. I don't. I just wish the young man well, man. I have an affinity for the kid, and I know he do as well. But I also don't have a team. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not a coach, and but there's a lot of people that was like, bro, you could have just, if you're gonna cut a man, you don't have to demasculate him publicly either. You already know millions of people are gonna be watching this documentary, and people felt like it was more about Prime than it was the player. Like, what happened to protecting the image of the players? Like, okay, I'm gonna cut you, but because I want you to have a future, I'm not gonna put that out there so 20 million people can watch me embarrass you in front of your teammates. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So it could go either way, man. I would have handled it every time I've dealt with even with my kids, bro. I'm not gonna. I'll share this and I'll shut up. I did this as a parent one time. My oldest daughter did something that was so bad, bro. I was so furious that I addressed it kind of publicly. And I'll say it like this right here. Nobody had to tell me that I made a mistake as a parent. When I tell you, man, that I was chastised in my conscience, man, by God for so long behind that, bro, that I got my ass whooped behind that, bro, for like embarrassing my child, bro. And you could have bought me for a nickel, dog. That's how bad I felt for that. So I'm just using that as an example because that's like the closest I could, somebody did. And what she did was absolutely terrible. Don't get me wrong. It was horrible, right? But I could have did it, and I did. And, I grew from that. And that was a bad moment. But Prime is famous, man. Everybody watching this documentary, and now everybody knows that was Mark Pope, and now they're going to want to figure out what it. So if he had a future, maybe this in jeopardy now. Maybe football is, because I know he graduated from Miami, but maybe that's it for him from a football standpoint. Maybe he's done now. But I'll pause and let y'all chime in. Go ahead.
That's why I had just looked and saw that he had just graduated this past semester. My thoughts is two things that popped up. I wasn't sure if the players knew what they were voting for. Maybe a couple people knew that something was down the
That's a
line,
good point.
but I keep thinking to myself like,
Hey man, there goes Zoe. Man, what's up, bro?
What's going on, y'all?
Oh boy, you came on at the right time, baby. Go ahead, Austin. Oh yeah, come on with it.
the other point that I think, would you do your own kids like this? And so that's what I keep thinking in my head. It's like it's all fun and games until like, you know, it's your family. But if it's your family, that stuff probably wouldn't be public. It wouldn't be on TV like that. And so again, I'm big on energy, man. It's like what you put out in this world is what you're gonna get back. I hate for the kid. Obviously, it was probably a lesson that he probably needed it to know, but not like in that fashion. I would have never done it in that fashion if that was the case.
Well, even if it was in front of the team, but I don't think we needed to know that though. You know what I'm saying? Like it was already embarrassing enough for it to be in front of the team. That was public, but that could have been public private, if that makes sense. So what's your thoughts on that?
I'm about to contradict myself. I'm just gonna say that. Well, not really, but I don't have a problem at all with the way that Prime did it. But I have a problem with the fact that I know it. Does it make sense?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It should have been public private because it was public with the team. But go ahead, you got it. You got the flow.
So that's why I'm about to contradict myself, because a good portion of people is like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. Like, nah. One thing I'm not gonna do, I look at it like a house, you know. And my dad would always say, you know, we'll go in this house, stay in this house. But then we talk, because I'm gonna use Prime. You're gonna always hear me say with our previous coach, I'm gonna always say I'm gonna use his words against him because it's his words, right? So going by the analogy that he used, we're family, right? Family this, family this. So I'm gonna say this. Now, granted, it's subjective because we all, how can I say this? We all rule the way that we run our house differently. So it's subjective in that regard. Okay. So in that construct, there is really no right or wrong. It's subjective. But I'm gonna say this. Under the construct of family, it was family business. You see what I'm saying?
Thanks.
So it's still not putting Mark Pope feelings out there. It's just that he gonna feel the same regardless. The only problem is he got to relive it again. Not only that, it's out there for the world to see until Prime, and I'm talking about Amazon, decides they no longer want that anymore. It's out there for the world to see, and it ain't going nowhere. So that's the only thing. But I can also say this: if I'm a future recruit and that staff over in Boulder's looking at my kid, I'm gonna raise an eyebrow to it now. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's a good point.
Everything ain't for everybody. And even though you can have good intentions sometimes, execution can be bad and come back and bite you in the ass. So sometimes there's a thing about oversaturation of myself. And I think that's one thing that he's going to run into, because everything ain't for everybody. And everybody don't need to know every single thing. And that's a fine line you got to walk, you know what I'm saying, in regards to doing things the way that he wants to do them. So, you know what we used to always say, there's an 80-20 rule with this, you know what I'm saying? So for all that great good that you're going to get, there's 20% of some BS or some fluff. You just got to eat it because that comes with the cost of doing business. And this is part of part of what comes with it. But just to answer your question, I don't have a problem with what he did.
I'll say this too in regards to that, bro. Just to add to it,
you know what I'm saying, then I'm all for it. But I have a problem with the world knowing it. The world should not know that happened. The world should not know it happened in the way that it happened. To see that kid get up, and it's almost like he got chastised, you know what I'm saying, in front of your family. And let's be real. If it's you and you're getting chastised in front of your family, even if it is your family, you know what I'm saying, that's not a damn good look. But to know that you got to live with that from here going forward, that's not a good feeling either. And you know you're going to put that out. I'm going to say this. What if that kid really did want to transfer somewhere else? If he's still in the portal right now.
That was my point. Yep.
So he's still in the portal right now. So now it's really going to be up to a coach to determine if they really want to take their kid. See, now meritocracy don't matter in a sense. You see what I'm saying? And see, in all sports, not just football, the greatest thing about sports is what? Meritocracy. Everything is based on your ability and what you do. You see what I'm saying? Well, now you've slanted the perception or thought of this kid. You took meritocracy away.
Well, the other thing to add to that, I want to say is that what makes it very, I guess what makes it challenging for a lot of people is you're allowing the world to have a public opinion about a decision that was made when you don't know what the crime was.
That's what I'm saying.
So it's like we don't know what he did, and like I said, let me ask you a question.
That's leading that's what we always say. That's what he's leading the narrative.
Absolutely. So you were the one that told me this morning about it before I actually watched it. I finished it up this evening, and neither one of us knew. And me and Zoe, we followed the team close. None of us knew what happened to Mark Pope.
Still don't.
We just knew he hit the portal. You see what I'm saying? So when you see that, it's like, damn. But again, I understand that from a show standpoint, it is a documentary. Ratings. That shit is. Hey, listen. That's the thing that we all know that bad news travels fast. That's that 20% Zoe talking about. That's the thing that's gonna make people gravitate towards it. It's usually the mess that people are talking about. It could be 80 minutes of 8 minutes of good things, but that 2 minutes of bullshit is gonna be the thing that gets sounded the most. So I'm not gonna poo-poo the documentary. I thought it was actually pretty damn good, like we talked about. But specifically about this situation, hey man, you know what could have been done? How about you just blur out him walking out of the room and not letting us know who the hell you were talking about? You get what I'm saying?
You know what else though? If you remember, Mark Pope got in the portal, got right back out of it, then got back in it.
Right, and I want to say this too. Mark Pope, I said it earlier. Mark Pope graduated from Miami. He got his degree. Congratulations to him for finishing what he started and everything. But like I said, again, I would have just I would not have been. It wouldn't have been a bad thing to me had they just cut out the person that got up and walked away. Because when you saw what social media did today, they mentioned his high school, former wide receiver at Miami, and now it's just the boy damn near trending now. You know what I'm saying? So
let me tell you something else. Dion was trending today after that went out, and man, the first video that I saw today wasn't from anybody associated with JSU or any other HBCU content. Man, the first video I saw in my algorithm was from a Miami University podcaster.
That's right.
And the comments were through the freaking roof because they were going all the way back to Manny Diaz, saying how Manny Diaz, who was the former coach of Miami, would have handled the situation. So when I tell you it's out there, because Prime is a lightning rod, it's out there.
Sure the hell is.
Yeah, Manny Diaz used to be the defensive coordinator for Mississippi State. I'm familiar with him.
Yep.
I just think that you never know.
Hey, if it's some trolls in the chat, go ahead and bless them tonight. I need them moderators with them wrenches. Bless any trolls in the chat. Get their ass up out of here. All right, y'all go ahead.
This day and age, you know, we've kind of been preaching on mental health. And so you never know what the kid's going through, you know, like, and then to see this, and then like it's like he says though, like a lightning rod, like it's gonna travel, and it's like there's nothing he could do about it but sit there and take it. So I just feel like that it was kind of, for me, it was a little bit insensitive, and you knew that like this was coming out in a time frame. Maybe they did let him know about this coming out, but at the same time, like you said, I would have blurred him out. Never would have even showed his face, so that way it wouldn't be such a big deal.
Hey, let me say this. If people knew, like, I know what I've gone through when I was a young man in my my teenage years and early 20s. And I'm telling you right now, if you look at me now and the life that I lead now, you would not think that I had gone through some of the trials and tribulations that I had gone through. And some people might even be willing to say it was because of what I went through that made me into who I am. I challenge that slightly, because some of it I didn't necessarily have to go through. Some of it was just stupidity, you know what I mean, ignorance. And, you know, it was many mistakes that was repeated. I think sometimes people tend to think that, you know, they internalize things in their own way. So that's why I just think that for me personally, I don't speak for nobody. For me personally, I don't mind them having that, you know, I don't mind how he, like Zoe said, I don't mind how he decided to do it, you know, do it as a family, do it amongst the team. But if I could have had my way, I just wish they would have, like, panned the camera away from who the player was, or cut that out, or edited it out, and you just saw the person hit the door. So that would have been a question mark of who was that about, you know, or you know, whatever the case may be. Because you did bring up a good point, Austin, about mental health. Everything doesn't need to be public, and it's almost like bullying down there. You know what I'm saying? Public ridicule. Because I can tell you right now that there was another scene that occurred in the earlier episodes of something that made a young man look bad, and I'm telling you now, their parents were not very happy with what with how they were made to look. You follow what I'm talking about? And then you also know that there were select few players that were highlighted in the documentary. There was a lot of great players that did a lot of great things, but they didn't really get any face time or coverage. And I'll pause there.
Well, I'll even go back to the very, very first doc. If you remember, just go ahead, it's out there. If you remember the very first doc, if you remember, there was an issue with a former player, and his parents did not want to sign a waiver because they did not want their kid in the documentary whatsoever, because they knew their kid was transferring. And they wanted no video, because they felt like anything shown was going to hinder the prospect of their kid going to being able to transfer. And that was Jalen Jones. And if y'all remember, his dad, called in to the school remember they had the doc had just came on, and they were doing like a little show afterwards to get the reaction of the coach, Prime and the rest of the players from them watching it. And if you remember, Jalen's dad called in, remember, during the first little viewing, and Prime got pissed off, remember, because, and Jalen's dad was right. You know what I'm saying? He was like, we told you, don't put Jalen's son. And he was talking about, getting a lawyer and suing and everything. And what did they do? They ended up, remember, taking Jalen out of all the rest of the footage.
Yep, they had to edit big time.
They had to edit everything with Jalen out, because Jalen played, he was the quarterback during that spring season. And so they had to edit everything out. And in hindsight 2020, it was damn sure the right call for them to make, And, Prime, because I remember Prime made the comment saying that, something of the effect of, this was going to work in Jalen's favor. But, in actuality, it wasn't, because, you're going to show some good about Jalen, but then, there was potential for you to possibly show some type of discipline, or whatever the case it may be. And again, it's subjective. How you think is going to go, you can't read the pulse of everybody else, and especially every other school or every other coach. And so that's why, I'd rather have nothing than to have something that's going to hurt me. So And that's the prospect that they took. And coincidentally, and I'll be quiet, the irony in all of that, me bringing up Jalen, is Jalen's dad was a star linebacker for the University of Colorado.
Facts.
That's the irony in all of this.
That's funny, and he championed the Prime coming there too.
Jalen's dad was a star linebacker for Colorado's national championship team in 1990.
Right?
And the irony, and now Prime is going to be at Dan Jackson, and Jalen's dad is actually supporting the whole idea of him going to Colorado and everything. So the irony,
of course, he is. Hey, Kaylin, hold on. I ain't mean to do that. I just we got her sitting on the stream, and it's gonna look like you just stuck in the corner. What are your thoughts on it?
Okay, I want y'all. I've been just tuning in, just listening to y'all, because I haven't seen it. However, I've been seeing a lot of chitter chatter on social media, but I have yet to see it. So I didn't want to go in detail of my thoughts on it, but I will speak on based off of what you guys have said so far. I do remember early on in the season when a player from Southern went on social media and said a lot of harsh things towards the team and Coach Prime. And I remember I think there was, I'm not sure if it was an interview or something that Coach Prime was talking about. Don't take this verbatim, but I just remember something about how he was like, he's not going to counsel them or anything because, you know, he had like the XFL or somebody coming on.
Yeah.
You know, I remember something along that lines, and he was like, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but from what I remember, a grand scheme of it was like, you know, you make bad decisions and you at a young age, and you can't mess up your future by saying some things to the wrong person that's in power that can promote you to the next level. However, by you being young, I'm not going to just counsel you out like that, and I will allow those guys to come back in. And you know, the guys came in, they did their apologies and all of that kind of thing. Well, that in particular player expressed his apologies. And I think that, you know, I'm not sure, like Zoe said, it's subjective. I'm not sure what exactly happened. However, it's kind of disheartening the way things play out as far as using a platform that can switch the narrative of a person. And they can't really have as much of a powerhouse to combat that. Whatever allegations were pushed upon them. Social media has a way of drowning out someone who could be in right standing based on a narrative. Not saying all the details, me knowing all the details of what's going on. That's just what I've seen from what everybody has been expressing. This is just my viewpoint based on what people are saying. But I have yet to see it. So my viewpoint may change once seeing it. But I'm a believer in, you know, there's consequences to any type of actions. I understand that. So I'm not, you know, I like I said.
That's understandable. Rochelle, welcome.
Hey everybody. I just jumped on. You talked about the mental health part of this. Social media can be a beast to people. And regardless of what that young man did, his name is not plastered throughout the world. And he can't be mentally able to handle that part of this. You made a mistake, granted, but now everywhere this young man goes, he's going to get teased and talked about. Is he mentally prepared to handle that type of scrutiny? Because he's still a child. He's in his 20s. So now you've taken a narrative that don't nobody know but you. But this young man is going to have to deal with the consequences. And I'm agreeing with you 100% in reference to, I don't have a problem with you doing that. But did it really have to be in that part of your documentary that you think about the repercussions of what can happen to this young man after the fact? That's the part for me that's dangerous. That's just not good. Right when you said that, Zoe, I thought about it. The mental health aspect of that is the shaming that's going to come with that. Was that really necessary to do that?
Can
Well,
we do this? Can we all be honest about something? And I'm about to get in trouble now, and I don't give a damn. Can we not sit up here and act like Prime didn't know what the reaction of that part of this documentary was gonna?
Hold on,
He
I'm
knew.
with you 100% Ken, because
No,
Zoe
no. I'm going somewhere.
Oh, go ahead.
just follow.
This right
Follow
here,
that.
this right here makes me wonder if you already know what the outcome is going to be.
intentional.
It almost comes off as intentional.
It
It
was
wasn't, no, it's
because
not almost, it is.
you.
Hold
I
on,
was
no.
reading.
I know.
I
Hold
was,
on, and this is what I just want to say. It makes me wonder what the hell did Mark Pope say, because he must have said something about him that he must have walked up on or something. The case may be, but that you take it how you want to take it. Somebody that I know. I've actually sat in the role of being a prime apologist. I have, but I had to come back and say, you know what? It is what it is. But if you don't like it, you just don't like it. But at the end of the day, I can't make an intelligent statement on because I don't know. But what I do know is that man knows what the outcome of that information was gonna do. And when you know that and you're that in tune with that, that comes off as very, very, very intentional.
well,
It's almost like it was a hit back. But go ahead, I apologize.
I want to. Rochelle actually beat me to it. I was actually going to say that always remember, Prime is the head coach. He's the adult in the room. So, because the thing is that remember, this is not just camera and release. This was edited.
Correct.
You chose to put that in there. Because you see what I'm saying? And to answer your question, you said, well, what did he say? Did he say something about him? I mean, it don't matter. I don't believe that it even mattered what what he said or what he did. Because you knew by putting it the way that you put it was going to leave context as to I wonder what happened. It's a conversational piece. It adds to the construct of the narrative of how I want this doctor flow. Again, who's the adult in the room? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you
even had Weeks. Weeks even said, "Hey, give it some time to think about it." He said, "I did that already."
Yep.
Go ahead.
But I'm saying, I'm talking about post-production. Right.
That was my point. Yep.
Post-production. So my thing is, you say, you know what, we could take that out of there. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because here's the thing. What did that add to the value of the documentary? It added nothing to it.
You know what it added, though? It added him getting tweeted on Twitter. It got me clicks. It got me this. So
well, he was going to be there regardless. He's going to be there regardless.
But Zoe, you have to understand something. He's not been in the spotlight like he was at Jackson State. See, now I want to get to the marketing side.
I gotta disagree. He hasn't. Let me. If you follow his trajectory, Prime is going to do something and say something every day or every week to do something to keep him out there. You have to understand. The one thing I've learned about him. Whenever you, me, or anybody else make a statement like that to say, well, he really ain't out there, you're saying that in your bubble. Trust, I've learned this firsthand. Go to another state. The reason why I know this is because before I moved back here, and Ken can vouch for me, because Ken was in LA. When I go anywhere, you would think, oh, nobody really paying attention. Go to the airport. Had its on. Way more people are watching you and talking about you than you can imagine. You just only going about the confines in your circle and in your bubble. Get outside.
I got what you said. He's a marketer. One thing you said is correct is that you can.
They said JSU allowed it. Like what exactly? Like it's. Oh my God!
Hold on. No, I'm gonna get in trouble now. Hold on. I'm gonna get in trouble now. I'm gonna get in trouble now. If any one of y'all want to sit here and put JSU on it, man, JSU ain't got shit to do with this. The only thing that JSU gonna do from this is reap whatever financial obligation they're set to get from it. Correct. That's it. That's it. Jackson State is only the location of where it was and the team. That's it. So anybody got something to say about JSU allowed? Man, JSU ain't do shit. You think JSU and President Hudson over there in post-production? President Hudson can't tell you what the fuck post-production is. Miss me with this bullshit. Come on, man. Y'all gotta be, man. Look, you gotta be smarter than this, man. Seriously. You can call President Husband, wake his ass up right now and say, hey man, do you know who edited this shit? Man, Amazon. That's all you go. The fuck you
Okay,
It said
Jacqueline.
Amazon.
Jacqueline, that's not true. He could have said, she said that Amazon does the edit. No, ma'am. No. Prime did those edits. And he knew what was gonna be there.
If you believe that Coach Prime, hold on, time out. Go ahead, Austin. Because I'm saying anybody that thinks that a documentary named Coach Prime and he don't have any type of, go ahead, Austin. I'm gonna shut up.
So what probably did, so this is probably what happened, and this is just me having somewhat of insight on decision making and who Coach Prime is and stuff like that. What happened was he probably was in on the script to put it piece by piece, the sequencing of it. He probably did. They probably gave him a first draft, and then he's like, all right, now add this part in. And then they go back and like they add this in there, and then now I don't like the lighting on this, like change that. And like that's what Prime did. So Amazon did technically like edit, but then Prime came in and said like, hey, change that. Because
Austin,
go ahead.
I'm gonna take it a step further, and Ken, you're gonna know where I'm going with this. It wasn't even just Prime. Do you know who really runs the controls behind anything that's go with Deion Sanders? It's a pit bull. No, it's a pit bull in a dress. Her name is Constance Swartz. She's the owner of
Constance Swartz.
Who?
Constance Swartz.
Smack
She's the owner
Smack Entertainment.
Smack Entertainment. That's who is the machine behind Prime. And Michael Strahan. Because when it's the first thing that goes off, the first damn name you see in the credits is executive producer
that's correct.
Michael Strahan. Michael Strahan and Constance Swartz are one entity. They're co-owners of Smack. So when you say,
it's a great team.
They are a fucking team.
I say this, man, and I watched video well off. I watched Deion Jr. video. Just it popped up in my YouTube feed, and I checked it out. And looking at some of the changes that Coach Prime has made, that man is when he say he's a change agent. Like everywhere he goes, he's gonna put his own stamp on everything. Like even down to, like I'm talking about walking through the hallways and changing, like putting up the quotes that need to go there. I need TVs here. That's who he is. So he's very meticulous, very detail oriented. He's very intentional about what he does, and that is the thing that we've grown to love and admire about him. And but what we can't do is just act like when that thing that we celebrate about this man becomes the very thing that bites. He don't do everything right. Some people approach every situation as if everything that he has done is the right decision, and anybody that goes against it is wrong. Like that's insane. So that's why, it's just open discussion. Like I said, for me, about the whole situation, again, there's no way in the hell that part got put in there without him saying put that in there. Because he could have very easily said, you know what, go ahead and edit that out. Let's put this in there. Because think about it. Zoe, what'd you say this morning? Man, they put in one season, in one episode, they covered like 4 games. Do you know the amount of content? Like being out on the sideline. Zoe, how many times did we see Amazon following Coach Prime in Serdor? Every game.
Everywhere. Fuck the game.
Everywhere. Yeah. Not every game. You're right. Everywhere. So here's what I'm saying. The amount of content that they had available to throw in that fourth episode.
That's why
there's no way in the hell you could have just left that part out.
That's why I said post-production. Post-production.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Going through all that footage, like I'm still kind of vetting through all the Celebration Bowl footage that I got. So it's like I gotta stay at 4 games, and then you got in between like practice and stuff like that. Jeez, man.
Yeah, that's a lot, bro.
Hey, Kaylin.
Hey. are
How
you?
you doing, sunshine?
I'm doing good.
Okay.
I just think that
Hold on,
some
hold on. Let me say
Hold
this.
on, go. Let it go.
When
Let
it
it go. Let it go. Let it go.
when
Let
it-
it go. Let it go.
when-
Let it go. Let it
go
go.
ahead.
I just think that some people should take the blinders off. Because it's a reason God said don't idolize people. Because things can be right in your face and you could be so blinded because of what you want to believe or perceive from an individual. Nobody's perfect. Don't get me wrong. But you know a tree by its fruit. So if you see something that's adversary to what your complex would be, well, what a righteous complex would be, why go against that just because someone has fame or has star power? So I just think that some stuff is just obvious. It's right there in people's faces. People just don't want to believe it. They don't want to receive it. But you know a tree by its fruit. So if you see something that's off, you can't just negate that just because you like you're it. That's just how I feel about certain situations. Is this it's so many things that's in our face. It's so many things that, so many subjective things, but there are things that are objective. So I think that a lot of people should take that into consideration about the things that have transpired throughout these seasons. It's many great things, of course, but certain stuff will show you the motives behind certain things. And sometimes people can use God as a way to elevate. And God speaks of that. You should not do that. So those that, are so that want to go the Bible route, and those that want to look at it from that perspective, then okay, well, don't make him an idol over what you know is righteous or what you know is true, just because you are in likeness of that person. So that's just what I think. So
I was actually about to say that, to use your analogy, sometimes good trees bear good fruit. Only problem is it'll poison your ass later on. I'm serious.
it's true.
I know you are. We see
I'm
it.
serious.
I saw it in your eyes. All your eyes. I saw it.
Because when we say bear good fruit, that means the appearance of it, because you ain't ate it. You see what I'm saying? A tree is strong, it's bearing good fruit. That means, what I'm saying, it's producing what it's producing. And prime produces good fruit. Only problem is when you eat that son bitch later on, and you're like, man, I ain't gonna eat that no more. That shit tore my damn stomach up.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, Mark Pope ain't saying he got no damn good fruit. I guarantee you that. You know what I'm saying?
And then, that was a wise bar, I gotta say, Ken. That was awesome. Go ahead.
And I'm gonna say this, for all the good that Prime does, and again, I have nothing bad to say about him, but man, I tell you what, the old things are true. The old cliches are true. Man, it's 80-20. For all the 80% that he does, great. Some 20% that's gonna make you say, do I really want to get in bed with this shit? Because that 20% is pretty goddamn significant. Because at the end of the day, it's a lot of narcissism in everything that's done. It's gonna end up coming back. It all belongs to me. It all revolves around me. Me is at the construct of it. And I'm gonna say this. Yeah, he does love those kids, but everything that I'm doing for those kids, it all come back to me.
All right. Can the church say amen, brothers? Brothers don't eat the whole time.
Can I just
But this is what I want. I'm kind of perturbed by somebody in this chat that's talking about what he did to that young man. He was treated like it was his army, or he was treating them like adults. And that's the issue I have, because, and let me just say this, and this is not to all of Jackson State young men, but we know a lot of Jackson State young men came from single family homes. So even though he may be 21 or 22, is he mentally 21 or 22 to handle that type of rejection? Especially if its rejection is already in his roots. So while y'all talking some crazy talk about that, you wouldn't want your face plastered all over the place. And we grown people, and we may, if that person keep acting crazy, because I'm on the live, I can't delete his little butt. but he gonna get deleted up out of here because he's talking nonsense in referencing to young people and their mental care. I am a brain health advocate, and every kid can't handle that type of humiliation. And I'm just hoping that he's got strong support around him because that could take some young brothers out. I don't care what nobody say. So y'all people talking about these are adults, they are
Let me
not
say this.
adults because they were boys and they have yet to be the young men. So about y'all saying that, y'all have no empathy, but we just go delete you up out of here. You keep talking crazy.
No,
Let me
don't
say this. Let me
delete
say
that.
it. Hold on. Let me chime in real quick because we gotta stop this. And let me say it this way. This notion that this old militant ass approach to everything and why is it that every time somebody tries to be empathetic to a young man that's still freaking developing, people want to come with this old militant ass mindset? That's the same mindset that tell me young boys don't cry, be tough. And then you wonder why when you take your girls out, you know why I take this personal? Because I have girls and my daughters have to go out here and deal with grown ass men when it's their turn that's undeveloped and unable to express themselves emotionally. And you wonder why you get in positions and you trick yourself out of your own situation because you emotionally immature. Because you keep telling young men to toughen up. It's tough love. It's tough love. And they don't know how to express themselves. You tell young men not to cry. That's a real thing, man. And that's something that we do in our community, more specifically. And we act like it's a stigma to talk about and advocate for mental health. The best decision that I ever made in my life after a failed marriage, bro, is to go sit down in front of somebody and get some of this trauma out of my damn system that had me angry all the damn time. Because one thing we ain't talking about is Nugget. Nugget was highlighted in a very bright spot as a perfect candidate for mental health. He talked about his mental stability. We didn't grow up in a social media era where everything is highlighted and magnified to the nth degree. And you take a lightning rod like a Deion Sanders where everybody's watching. You don't have a precedent for that. So you can take your little militant ass mindset and say, oh, it's tough love. It's not tough love. That is a famous man with millions of followers. That's a level of accountability, man, that nobody on this damn stream has had to encounter. It's okay for him to do exactly what he did, and he stayed in-house. We did not have to know that. And to hell with you if you disagree with that. Yes, you can disagree. If you don't like it, get off the stream. We can agree to just disagree. No, I gotta get this out because I get sick of people that jump in the chat. Everything we say that's actually pro young man, pro that don't right? Then you have people, you have situations. Anyway, let me. People went crazy. Hold on. People went crazy. We had a situation where the young man passed out on the field, and there's a misinterpretation of communication, and everybody all in the world, it's about, oh, be sensitive now. And I know you may say that, how is that related? What I'm saying is, it's not a damn coincidence that millions of people are having this same damn thought process and saying, damn, is it so much above reason to ask yourself, could he possibly have not done that the right way? And some people just are unwilling to accept he's just showing tough love. I mean, they ain't no fucking military. It's a football team. And he's also building young men. And it's okay to say we want Mark Pope to be okay. Because if the man turn around and go do something to himself because he done, you get what I'm saying? Then it's always what you say all the time, Zoe, and I'm gonna shut up. Low hanging fruit, right?
Yep.
It's low hanging fruit. Everybody got hindsight is 20/20. We all got the answers after the fact. We all got the answers. And I'm sorry. That makes me sick. And if somebody in the chat got the rinse, please get these folks out of there. I don't care who it is. I don't need the sub. I don't care about that. I shut up.
Let me say this too. Man, when it comes to those, man, there is no point in even getting your blood pressure up, because here's the thing, it's lunacy to me. Because watch
I ain't
this.
getting my blood pressure up. That wasn't even about that person. That was
Watch
actually
this.
about the next person. Because when I talk to idiots, I put it out there as a disclaimer for the next idiot to shut the hell up when they come on here, because they know they're gonna get that, they're gonna get served. That's all I got. Go ahead.
Here's the thing, it's lunacy at best, because even if I wanted, because remember, everything's subjective. We all do things differently. Just come like when it comes to parenting, we all do it differently. But watch this, because I'm fair across the board. Now watch this. Even if I chose to side with you to say it's tough love, I agree. It could be tough love. That part of that conversation ain't got shit to do with the video being out. See, Prime can sit there and say it's tough love. Remember, we said we agree. I do, at least. I'm for whatever the coach decides to do is his team, whether it's tough love or soft love, because he ain't gonna do everything the same, because he got 100 guys in there and you're not gonna parent them the same. So however you want to do it, that's fine. You can have tough love. I got my ass beat. I walked the plate plenty of times, but I ain't never touched my daughter. So that's a whole different thing. The point I'm getting at is you can have tough love. That ain't got shit to do with you being able to know about the shit.
That was my
That
whole
ain't got
point.
shit to
We
do.
don't need to know that.
That
We
ain't
didn't have to know that.
That ain't got shit to do with you seeing it and you knowing it. Also, for the military-minded people that's like that, I'm gonna say, hey, bro, guess what? I'm a civilian. Right now, your ass is too. So why the fuck we worry about being military in a civilian world? Make that shit make sense. If you want to be military,
And
re-enroll
half the
your
folks
ass.
come back from that environment, gotta go get mental help anyway. We act like it's normal.
Hey,
I'm
Ken,
saying
somebody wanted to come up, Ken or Zoe.
Let them come on. Let them come on. I don't.
The link, because you know you got to drop the link again, because it goes up
No,
and you
it's
can't
Doc.
go back
It's
down.
Doc. Give him the link. It's Doc.
Well,
Doc said drop the link. Drop the link.
I want to kind of tap into something that Ken said. I'm
go Austin.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Kind of been blessed to kind of been on the side of like growing up in the infancy of social media and then being outside as a kid, and so I think it's important that I think I'm blessed to have that balance, because there's some people that grew up right into social media, but I was outside as a kid, but I also was at the infancy of social media. So it's definitely important, because to break those generational mental traumas that's passed down. And so I think it's important what Ken was saying, because like we want to break that. People need to get help. And so I kind of applaud Ken for like.
Listen, man, I'm gonna say this, and I'm not. I ain't. Y'all don't know me like that. Y'all know me as Ken Clark, 1400. I went to Jackson State, and I'm from Jackson. I ain't never gonna disclose my personal business out here on this public platform. But I'm gonna tell you like this right here, as a man that had to learn how to be soft. I'm gonna say it that way. God blessed me with girls for a reason, because He knew what I needed. And I'm telling y'all right now, that shit is poison, bro. It's poison. It take you too long to get to learn. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have a son that I raised. You get what I'm saying? But I'll say it this way: when you in a situation, in a space where you so damn militant, you so hard, and that's your criticism. You too hard. You too hard, and it costs you a marriage. I'm being real about this now. My life changed as a result of my inability to connect on a softer level, because I was told all my life to toughen up, because we cry in private, and you wonder why I was. No, the reason why I do this, because this is therapy. Get that shit out, man. Get it out. Don't carry that, because it's gonna cause you to do something later you're gonna regret. And I don't have a problem. You know what? Coach Lewis and I talked. I shared some stuff with my coach standing in Best Buy just this week. And you know what I told Coach? I realize now, and Zoe, me and Zoe talk about this all the time, and Zoe know me. I said, I realize now that everything that I went through in my past, it really wasn't even about me. It was really about what we doing right now. It was about the ability of being able to be used as an instrument for God to be able to minister to folks, because I can minister a lot better because I know what it looks like to hit rock bottom. I know what it looks like to fail. I know what it looks like to have daughters. I know what it looks like to have a daughter that go left and a child that go left. I know what it looks like to have to lose a love. I done been through so much that I don't carry this baggage of feeling like my life is so distraught because things didn't go my way. When you're being used as an instrument to help folk, you realize your experiences are about that. So I'm sorry. I'm never gonna apologize, because my senses tell me that it's okay to have empathy for a young man and say, you know what? I just hope that young man can shake back from it, because I really wish I didn't know that it was him. Because I know he was in the portal and I know he still want to play. And whatever he did, was it so detrimental to the point to where it's going to take this public ridicule or whatever it is that was going to be, that's coming, that we don't know. And I'll pause. Doc, what you got?
Oh,
Hey,
man, what's going on,
I'm
everybody?
gonna
Pull up,
say
bro.
this. I'm gonna say this to brag on Ken right quick, and that is, in the 1400 Club, when we first initially got together, everybody knows like that by now. My thing was, my thing was help design the helmets. That was my thing. I was doing through the football team. Y'all want to know what Ken thing was? And when he came in, his whole thing was mentorship.
But
his whole thing was mentorship when he got in. That was it. That was Ken's whole thing. But I do want to add this, and I'll shut up, and I'll let y'all have the floor. The one thing over everything, and we can kind of get off of it and let y'all have it, is I really wish people would get out this bullshit thinking that there's one way to do everything. It's not. There is no right and wrong way.
Absolutely.
I really wish y'all understood that. There's an old saying, what you eat don't make me shit, and vice versa. So when it comes to parenting, guess what? The way I do it gonna work for me, but that don't mean it's gonna work for you and how you do it. And guess what? The way you do it, even if I disagree with it, don't make it wrong. Or the way I choose to do it don't mean that it's right. There is no right and wrong way. It's subjective. And guess what? Having a different opinion is a good thing. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something. An old man told me one time ago. If I got a friend and my friend agree with every damn thing I believe in, guess what? I need to look at myself and get it. I'm serious. If two people are always in agreement, what the fuck I need to talk to you for? I can just look at and say, hey, self, how you feel? Okay, we're gonna roll with that. You know what I'm saying? You glean from each other. But again, there is no right and wrong way when it comes to this. It's too fucking subjective. Again, I can agree to say, hey, Prime shouldn't even done that in the auditorium. He should have put him into his office. Guess what? There's truth in that. Hold on. There's truth in that statement, but it also ain't wrong. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's gonna say, you know what? He should have did exactly what he did. That was the right thing to do. Guess what? That's truth too. There is no right and wrong way. It's subjective. And guess what? Now I'm gonna say something that's controversial. I'm giving my opinion. I don't believe it's the world should have seen it. But you got plenty of people here that say, you know what? I have no problem with that. And guess what? I cannot say, you know what? You're wrong. You're wrong. I cannot do it. The thing I get people to understand is stop with this bullshit like it's my way or the highway.
Absolutely.
Life don't work that way.
Right.
That's why you control the shit that go on in your house, and that's it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
so just understand that, man, and learn
some healing today now.
Learn over everything else. If y'all, man, I don't even like to talk like this, but over everything else, man, you better learn some fucking grace. And I just contradicted, I cussed and said grace. Damn it! But you better learn some damn grace.
Okay.
And learn how things work.
Can I say one thing? Someone said life is not gonna be sympathetic to young men. Okay, let me just say this again, y'all. I don't think y'all get this.
Oh my God, bro.
That's your child that now
Oh
whenever
my God. It's always gonna be different when it's theirs. It could be their nephew.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
They have a whole different thought process. Because with your tough ass.
No one is saying that he didn't deserve the part we're talking about, y'all, is the public embarrassment. That's the part that y'all, and this is the thing what makes me so nervous and how so starstruck Black folks can get on people is that because of who he is, no one can hold him accountable. I'm confused about that. Like, who says just because it came out of his mouth that it's right? We are so starstruck that we overlook a lot of stuff that famous people do because they're famous. But knowing if he was a regular coach that didn't have the followers that you had, y'all about to acting a plum fool. So y'all need to stop this. And just because it came from his mouth, as they you can't hold him accountable. And I have nothing against the man, but I can hold him accountable. Is it something you didn't need to embarrass him for the world to see? That's the issue that we're talking about. And some of y'all saying that, but if something happens to that young man because he's in the porter and no one's giving the point of day and he's getting ridiculed and he think his life is not worth it because he's tired of being shamed, then y'all gonna be like, oh my God, nobody thought about his mental health.
Right. And man, we are so.
Well, look,
Rochelle, you say this all the time when you come on the stream. Hold on, bro. Rochelle has been on the stream so many times, and you talked about how trauma is in our DNA. You know how it's a part of the fiber of our being, right? And so I just want to throw this one thing in there because this happened to me today. You know, I'm not in those Facebook SWAC HBCU beef groups. I got out of them groups because I'm not going to do the back and forth chatter. Like, I'm done with that. So what happens is if you give your opinion on Facebook about something, people jump on your personal page and start trying to debate. And I'll tell you in a minute, get the fuck off my personal page. This ain't no open debate. I'm about to matumbo your ass if you don't leave me the hell alone. You know what I'm saying? Like what you should do is that if you see something that you don't agree with, how about you just keep scrolling? Now, this is what I want to say. I am one of the people that felt like what Skip Bayless was saying when the young man passed out and collapsed. I actually understood what he was trying to say. And I was trying to figure out why the world was going crazy. So somebody made a comment, and I got a point to this, and it's all relevant. They said, well, why is it that, you know what I mean? He said, man, boy, that damn tweet got everybody going mad. And, you know, so I said, yeah, this is a fact. So the person jumps in and he was like, man, it's very telling that you got two people on here defending some dude when you got another dude that's actually fighting for his life. So I gave my explanation. I was like, no, it's not telling. What's telling is the fact that we lack emotional intelligence, because you think that me saying that I understood what that dude is saying had anything to do with us not being able to be also at the same time equally sensitive to the young man that collapsed. Because what happens is when we talk, everything is one thing. People can't handle multiple thoughts simultaneously. So, Rochelle, no matter how many times you say you don't have any issue with the man, you don't have any beef with Deion Sanders. Anytime you try to express that one thing that he did, you're talking about accountability and why you wished it could have went a different way. That one thing that you said is going to equate to everything. They're not going to hear you when you say, I don't have an issue. No, you're talking about one thing, because what people do is they apply one thought to the whole damn basket, and that shows their lack of comprehension. You get what I'm saying?
I can. Everything that you just said, I'm gonna make a quote. I'm gonna copyright this shit. All right. Understanding doesn't equate to agreement. I'm gonna say it again. Understanding doesn't equate to agreement. I'm gonna need y'all to understand that. Just because I understand something don't mean that I agree. The Bible says, I hate to even do this, in all thy getting, get understanding.
Get understanding. I was about to say.
Understanding doesn't equate to agreement. I'm gonna need you to grasp that. Just because I understand something don't mean that I co-sign it.
Come on.
And see, the problem, even in this space, y'all want to know the one thing that's free besides salvation? Y'all really want to know what's free?
Opinion.
A motherfucking opinion. That's why everybody give it.
Hey, yep.
Hey,
I got
but
something.
on this chat right here, y'all see that damn thing going across the bottom of it, right? Opinions on this stream, it costs a little something. You can throw something in the pot if you want to. But go ahead, Doc.
Nah, but
I'm just, that was a joke. That was a joke.
Hold on, Doc, go ahead on Kaden. You on mute.
If you sit there and paraphrase everything that you just said, Ken, understanding don't equal agreement.
You're right. Go ahead, Doc.
Okay.
Oh man, like I said, I know I watched all 4 episodes of the documentary. So I watched 3 and 4 last night. I gave my assessment yesterday. I gave my assessment on my show yesterday, last night, about the one thing I didn't I didn't like. Well, I wouldn't say I didn't like, but I liked, but it should have been brought to the forefront was the mental health, especially with Nuggets mental health, because you don't know what some of these kids are going through in their everyday life. You know what I'm saying? So, just hearing him talking about, like people leaving, like physically leaving him left and right, that way, that put a toll on his mind right there. And you could kind of say, in a sense, like say last season, not this past season, but 2021, that his mind wasn't in the right place. And I feel like if you go and just talk to somebody, just like you talk to somebody, and like you said, to talk to somebody professionally and get that, just get it all out of your system, it will do so much better. Now I'm gonna say this, give my background. Like I said, look, I'm on the real. I've been clinically diagnosed with depression since I was 9, and mainly that was because my father passed away. So I'm 43 years old. I haven't had my father in my life for over 30 years. So I carried all that burden from the time I was 9 all the way until I had just let it out. You know what I'm saying? Talk to somebody and let it out. I even carried it when I went to school at Jackson. But the thing about it is, the best thing about what I used to do was I used to mask it and hide it and go on by my day. Like even some of my closest friends that I'm that we came in together as freshmen in '97, they didn't even know what was going on with me. I just kept it into them because I felt like, in a sense, nobody understood what I was going through. And then, it got to a breaking point. I left Jackson. I was back here in Dallas. It got to a breaking point where I just like, forget it. I don't care about nobody. They don't care about me. I'm just gonna end it all. And the way, it takes huge balls to get that out of your system. Like just to talk about it every day, just talk about it, and just ask somebody like, "Hey, how's your mental health today?" Like we all need that check in on the real. How's your mental health on the real? But with with the now to go with the video of him kicking Mark Pope out of the off the team, in a sense, because it was cameras in there and everything, I would have, the manager in me would have put you to the side and took you to the office and say, "Hey, I don't like what you're doing, and you have constantly been doing it for over and over again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you go, and if you need any type of help, if you need any type of assistance, I'm there. You can call me, and I'm there for you." But the way that he did that, it you know what I'm saying, it that's traumatized. I mean, you could traumatize a kid with that because, like you said,
And I think
these are
that's the main thing that folks are saying. It was just and I don't mean to cut you off because I don't. Before you go into all of that, Doc, I want to say, man, it's bold as hell of you to come on here and say that, bro. And I just want to say I appreciate you for sharing. I'm happy that you know what I'm saying, that you on the right side of it because not every young brother is able and willing to say that. That requires a level of vulnerability, man. That because we gotta have that bravado, family.
right. And the thing, I'm sorry.
You go ahead. I'll wait.
But the thing about it is that because, like you said, these are still young. These are still kids. Their minds, their body might be developed fast, but their mind ain't developed all the way. Your mind don't get developed as a young man until you're 25 years old. And then, and even when your brain is developed, you still you still go out there and try to get all the knowledge that you can. Because learning don't stop when you turn, when your brain hit 25. You learn every day, every second, every time you wake up, you learn something. You learn something new. You know what I'm saying? You're retaining info. That's how it is. But the way with the way that he ran the program, was it militaristic? Yes, it was. I mean, you kind of had to, you had to weed out the players that wasn't on board with, with what you wanted to do. Now, the admonishment, and like I said, in front of the cameras and stuff, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. And people you can bash me all you want to on here. I still won't agree with me.
I bash back. That's fine. Come on and bash.
No,
I bash back.
and the thing about it is that if he's done it, if Mr. Pope had done that plenty of times, 2-3 times, and you brought him back in, what does that say about you?
Kaylin, what you had, Kaylin? That's a good point, man.
One thing that I always like to say is when you see an athlete that's injured, they go through they go through surgery, they get a cast, they may be on crutches, and then they go through the physical therapy, and then they back rolling. But you pay attention to them, man, they hurt. That's physical, but it's a silent killer because there's athletes that are injured all around you, and you can't even see it because they ain't walking around with the cast. Now, they're walking around on crutches, but they're battling mental obstacles in their brain that they have to put on a facade and try to act like nothing is going on. You have acquired disabilities. Now, I got my undergrad in sports and stuff, but I'm doing rehabilitation now because my main focus is about mental health in sports. One thing about it, when it comes to disabilities, you can have an acquired disability, meaning that you can start off cool, calm, like Doc spoke, he was okay until, his dad passed and he acquired that disability. These players, Nugget, for example, you have things that happen to you in life where disabilities are acquired, mean they come after, a traumatic experience. You don't want to be, Coach Prime especially wouldn't want to be the catalyst of this, because I actually did my final research paper on it, on mental health in sports post-career NFL athletes, and he was one of my topics. He did an interview with a pastor, and he talked about how he had battled mental issues throughout the peak of his career. He said he was up for bat. He was 3 for 3 or something like that, and he was getting it. The world was looking at him like, dang, you doing this, you doing that. And he said he just heard that ringing. You up here in MLB and NFL. This is what everyone would imagine, but he wasn't happy. He said that I remember because I wrote about it. He said you can have all the shoes and not know which direction to take. You don't know which step to take, which step to take in the right direction. You can have all the shoes. So it's like if you were able to have all of this, because what is it for? What is it for a man to gain the world but lose his soul? Now, to say that, I mean, you can have everything and still battle mental issues. Some of these kids don't have all of that. Some of these kids don't have anything. Some of these kids trying to get it out the mud. Adding that onto it, that can cause all kind of just extra on the mental. And so I think we should definitely take into account on the strain that these players have endured. Not just football, all sports. That's something that needs to get talked about. The rehabilitation counseling that they should go through. A lot of players, again, sports medicine. A lot of them are having physical therapy after an injury. But what about the steps and protocols you take to make sure your mental is okay? It's some players that have never been. I remember Aubrey saying he's never been on a team that lost the championship. Well, it didn't happen. Now I know he's gonna pretty much go to the league and all, but certain stuff like that, and you can use anybody else as an example. Those things can take a toll on the player. The coaches take a toll on the player. Let me tell you, I have experience with good coaches and bad coaches, and I tell you, it had an effect on the way I played. It had an effect on the way I was in the class. Those things matter, and so I think that we shouldn't allow the stigma to continue to degrade our community, and we need to stop taking things lightly. This is important. This DeMar situation that's going on. I spoke about it earlier on my Instagram. This is nothing to take lightly. Now, granted, he's doing better now, but we don't know because one thing I've learned in school, where you can be cool to everybody else, and then you get a TBI or you get a concussion, and that will expose the pre-existing mental issues that you've already had. So granted, he's doing good right now, but what if he was not diagnosed as someone who already had mental health disorder? Because then if after he's had the injured TBI, whatever, concussion, whatever, you have to do a double rehabilitation process, because now you're having to fix two different things. And so it's like it's so many elements and levels to this. Even CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, that right there takes a toll on players. You don't even know that they have it until they die. That's and it's hard to even pick out the different symptoms, because you don't know if they're just dealing with depression or if they're just dealing with anxiety, because those are some of the precursors until they actually die. So it's so many levels to this, and I take that topic very serious. I mean, it's just so much. It's steadily growing. My professor told me, he said, like, it's starting to grow. Mental health and sports people are starting to speak out about it, because you're having players that speak out about it. Look at John Wall. Like, he went through a tough season. A lot of players are, but now they're starting to speak out on it. They're starting to tell their stories. And I think by Coach Prime, him speaking out and telling his story about it, it's like, okay, you understand this from a perspective where you had everything. Some of these kids have nothing and they're battling with that, so I think that it shouldn't be taken lightly in certain instances. Yes, some stuff can, I understand this and understand that, but some things are very critical, and it's detrimental to a person's mental if it's not taken care of and done if it's not rehabilitated correctly.
Hey, Kayla, and actually to paraphrase something that you just said, to even paint another analogy, when you tend to get out the mud, you typically come up with leeches. So remember that too. We like to always we want to glamorize getting out the mud, but understand when you get shit out the mud, you're gonna typically come up with some leeches. That's fact.
So Ken, can I just say this to you, Ken? I didn't know that mentorship was one thing that you do, and I don't know if you talk to the
Well,
young.
can I give context and then I want you to go. The reason why, and this is relevant to Jackson State. I lost my brother, my older brother, when I was a junior at Jackson State in my 7 a.m. business law class. I got a call that he was murdered in Jackson, and he left behind 7 kids, mostly boys. My nephew, who is going to become a channel sponsor soon with his business, his clothing line. When he graduated Jackson State 2013, I left. I relocated. I left Jackson and went to Austin, and that's when he called me in February, well, January of 2014. Said, "Unc, man, I got my degree, man. I want to do something with it, man. Can I come to Austin?" And he's the son that I never had, and he's 30 now, but everything we like, he's like, I am my brother's keeper. And when I say mentorship and advising them young men and watching them all grow into young men and turn into, I'm telling y'all, I could share some stuff that these boys done. We grew up in Brown Bottom, man. Y'all know what it is. And I'm telling you, the childhood friends don't exist no more for various reasons. But what I'm saying is when you see a young man grow up in an environment and you put him in a different environment and you watch them flourish and you watch him, you know what I'm saying? You watch him have his own family and watch him flourish and become a business owner and do all these wonderful things. And then he look back and say, "Unc, man, you like the father that I never had, man, because my dad been gone," and we cry about it. That did it. That did something to me. You get what I'm saying? So I have a soft spot for young men that come from a tough environment that done been through some shit that just need another opportunity. So my position is gonna be because you know what? I was kicked. I averaged. Shout out to Coach Godfrey Drake, man. I don't know if Coach Drake watching this. I was averaging 20 plus a game, getting buckets in AAU basketball, and arguably one of the best players, if not the best player on our team. And he kicked me off the team, man. His son was a coach. I played. Y'all know Godfrey. Godfrey played at Murrah, and Godfrey can vouch for me on this. I cussed his dad out, and we was at a tournament in Louisiana. My attitude was terrible, man. Had a horrible attitude, and I'm telling you, like to this day, that man come to me. His coach say, "Man, you don't understand how proud of you I am."
Mm.
Now he kicked me off the team, and my team didn't know about it. So then when I say what I'm saying to you about Mark Pope, it comes from a place it's come from a personal place. I was at the top that I could be because you're getting ready to go to college. Now he's a college kid, and you know what I'm saying? So he called me and said, "Don't come to practice today." I said, well, what's going on, coach? No. My partner was like, "Yeah, I'm on the way to practice." I'm like, "Well, I didn't get no call." So I called coach. I said, "Coach, what's up, man?" He said, "Yeah, man. Don't worry about coming to practice." He said, "Man," I said, "Well, coach, you got practice though." He said, "Yeah. You need to." I said, "So, coach, let me ask you a question, man." I said, "Man, you kicked me off the team?" He said, "Yeah, Kinsel, man. You need to get your attitude right." And I got off the phone and cried like a baby because the one thing I had, that was the thing that pulled me out of the projects to go into an environment where I could just hoop. And I'm telling you, it was done privately. I had to tell my teammates, "Hey, man, I ain't on the team no more." They were like, "What? Are you serious?" I was like, "Yeah, bro. Y'all go do y'all thing." Now, my coach wasn't famous and I wasn't on a documentary and I didn't get called out in front of everybody where the whole world got to see it in the social media era. So, yeah, tough titty, right? Yeah, you talking to somebody that lived this shit, man. It's deeper than just that. And it ain't, I know that we not unique because I know it's a reason. Let me say this. There's a reason why you got, what time is it, y'all? Man, it's 200, it's 300, it's 300 people watching us.
Kids.
Bro, it's 300 people watching us right now. And I know it's somebody that's gonna watch this stream and they're gonna inbox me and say, "Man, thank you. I appreciate you so much." Because it's needed. and I'd be an advocate for it because that's obviously what I had to go through. So anyway, go ahead, Rashid. I'll shut up.
I know it's not that. I just wanted to say, and one thing I can say that I'm grateful for that you guys have made the space to talk about mental health. Now, I do have some, again, I really would like to share some things with you offline. If you're still mentoring young men, and this is going to help you understand that that childhood trauma, the roots that we hold. And I'm really hoping that y'all have something for the young men because I'm telling you, even having that spotlight all that time was not good for everybody because everybody don't like the spotlight. So just because I did it, and that's and unfortunately, because in this generation, kids want that 5 minutes of fame. So yeah, we'll go play with Coach Prime, but are you ready for the repercussions that can come after that? And a lot of these kids are not mentally prepared for that. So I think every now and then we may need to just do a little wellness check and let's ask everybody, well, how y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? Because we don't understand that we don't like feel like we'll do this, I'm gonna be done. So if I ask you how you feel, so let me tell y'all black people something. Okay is not a feeling. All right is not a feeling. Fine is not a feeling. And blessed and highly favored ain't a feeling. I just need y'all to understand that. Those are not feelings. Those are things because we don't even understand what our emotions are. But when that's about it, how you doing? Blessed and highly favored. What that mean? What that mean? Blessed and highly favored people can't be sad. So it's that type of thing of us getting in really contact. So Ken, I want to honor you and thank you for sharing, and even HBCU Overdrive with Doc Holiday for sharing
Yeah.
that because even though y'all don't realize something, just what y'all have done tonight is going to have some other people listening, let them know, okay, well, there's nothing wrong with me to have these feelings. Because public service announcement to everybody out there, is nothing wrong with you having these feelings. It's just what you do with the feelings is what can help you through it. So I just honor you for that. So yeah.
Let me say something, and then I'm gonna have to roll out because I'll be at work in the morning. But
Right.
yeah, retail life is hell right now because it's slow.
Right.
but the way I get through my day and knowing that I have all these, I wouldn't say all these thoughts, but just the feeling and everything about, because depression is a disease. You still got to understand it. It's a disease. People want to, us as black people want to, the older black people want to kind of shy away and say there's nothing wrong with you. But in the end, there's some trauma. There's always going to be trauma. There's always going to be some sort of post traumatic stress that you have in your everyday life. But the way I get through it is usually when I'm at work and I'm if I'm not doing anything, I talk to people, and people see me with my hoodie on. They got my logo for the YouTube channel and stuff like that, and they ask me about it. And I just tell them, I just have a big old conversation just right off the bat, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, and people don't, not people gonna think you about strange anything, but it's just having a conversation with somebody that you don't know is a good thing. It relieves a lot of tension and a lot of stress throughout your day. Also, I say it like this, and I tell my wife this all the time. When I get behind the camera, my webcam, and I got that microphone in front of me, and I see the chat room just what I'm saying, going strong and asking questions and stuff like that, that gets me motivated because it's like on the real, some people just don't, they don't know what I'm going through, but is I can say, man, look, I'm having a great day. Or I can say, look, you know what, work was terrible, but man, let's talk about it. I could get on my show, and I have done 130 something videos up to date, and I could get on there and I could come up with some sort of conversation, even if it ain't got nothing to do with football. Um, just like I did a show this early today, and I was talking about Coppin State basketball, about the stuff that's going on with them. And when I was reading the article and stuff like that, it kind of struck the nerve with me because of the the misconduct and how this, the basketball team was being played out. It kind of struck a nerve with me. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna cut it short and we just gonna talk about, talk about the positive. Cause see now I get, when it comes down to it, I get to control the narrative. Like everything I get to control the narrative. In life, you control your own narrative. You control your own story. You know what I'm saying? People want to control it for you, but you have the power to control everything that you do on a day-to-day basis. And for these kids that are dealing with mental health, PTSD, any type of trauma, mental trauma, if they want to control their narrative, they would go out there and seek that help. They would talk to somebody. They would just just talk to a professional. Pour your heart out. If you need to be on medication, fine, be on medication. It's not gonna hurt you. It's not gonna do it. It's not gonna hurt you. It's not gonna harm you. It's going to help you. As long as you're on medication, if you're on the medication, and if you're talking to somebody, it's gonna help. It works. I'm on medication. I talk to somebody. It works for me. It works for me. But that's the first thing the kids need to do to control their own narrative. Take control of your of what's in front of you. Take control of your life. That's in front of you right there. So thank you, Ken, for letting me on the stream as always, man.
Oh yeah, man. Y'all know I made it home, man. Y'all done helped me get off the plane all the way to the house, and
But listen, because this 3 o'clock and they still holding on for us, but I'm about to go to
they're gonna
bed.
be all right. Listen, somebody gonna watch this stream tomorrow or the next day. It don't matter. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow, man. And look, I appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody as always for coming on. We obviously, this is one of the things I do love about this. I don't have a clue how this stuff gonna go. I don't have to know how it's gonna go. I don't have to know
Oh
all
yeah.
that.
Oh yeah, Austin, I ain't forgot about you. I'm gonna hit you up later, man. Talk
But
about some
but
visuals and stuff.
hey,
Okay.
but Austin,
All right.
Austin and Kaylin, man, let's get busy, man. Let's get to work, man. We got some. This our year, 2023. It's gonna be the greatest year of media for Jackson State. Yes, I said it. It's gonna be the greatest year of media. I think
We're gonna win the SWAC again.
we're gonna win
But
the Celebration Bowl
I
under
just
Coach
want you to
TC
know
Taylor.
your video was so powerful, Austin, that I actually almost cried. I was like, how did he do that? That video that you created,
Oh.
Hey,
that was
hey,
amazing.
hey.
No, that was calibered, like top of the line. That was ridiculous. I was like, I know him. I was like, I know him. But yeah,
No, man, he does fantastic work, man. I mean, you guys, let's just get active, man. Let's get active. Let's get them meetings set up, and just any way I can help, I will. I'll say it this way: we have an alum. Shout out to Mr. Henry Doris, man. He is an alum I've been talking to, really trying to advise me on business, how to just some ideas on how I could, the direction in which we can take this page. But he texted me when you came on, bro, and you and Kaylin, and he was like, "Man, yeah, let's do that. He's good, So he sang your praises in my text thread. So I just wanted to shout him out and shout you out, bro, because we got a lot of work to do, and it's gonna be fun. So we're gonna get it done, bro. You ain't got to worry about that. I know Coach O and TC and Ashley and them, they want the best for the university. President Hudson, Dwayne. I just think it just needs to all we just got to find that I don't know. It could. We don't know. We just set the meeting up and go see what they say, and then come back and let us know. And whatever we, wherever we are with it, we'll fill in the gaps, man. I think our alumni base is got so much. Just like you got creative energy, they got a lot of energy to put towards helping. We got people. I gotta say this before I close up. We got people that's so eager to help right now that they was like, man, drop the cash apps of the players, folks. You cannot do that. That is an NCAA violation. Please stop being overzealous and trying to can't give players. We can help them get NIL deals. Okay.
Oh, violation.
Yeah, you can't do that. Don't be so overzealous to where we you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it, man, but keep that energy though. Don't lose that momentum. Don't lose that energy because that's what's needed. We need the support. And Jackson State can make it happen. Go ahead, bro.
Can I want to say one thing before I go? I agree with Amber that the chat has been sick tonight, but I'm not old, y'all. I'm seasoned like wine. This is beauty over here at 57. But I want to ask this young man with the video, like everybody tweeted your thing. Have the main people that you talking to, have they seen the video you created for the Celebration Bowl?
Oh yeah.
I texted to the AD.
What is that talking about? Your work was ridiculous. I mean, okay, I'm sorry.
Look, I think the biggest thing is like I think I kind of proved to everybody my work speaks for itself. So obviously, there's really no reason for me to continue to be like, hey, look at me. So it's just really having that conversation and getting people behind board because again, if we could spend $1 trillion in this country, I think we can put this together and create a system for JSU to go forward. So,
okay, I believe in you. So, what time tomorrow, sir? We gonna be? You back in California?
I'm home.
Okay, but y'all didn't have the rain, huh? We had some more. This is called the atmospheric river, baby. The whole river just flew down on the Bay Area. It was sick.
Well, it was raining today. Supposed to rain tomorrow, but all is well.
Well, and, I mean, y'all don't have what we had. Like, if you just Google Santa Cruz, dude, the whole beach is gone. Like, I didn't realize it was raining that day. Yeah, it's a mess.
The whole beach is gone.
Yeah, just Google Santa Cruz and even do San Francisco.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it was sick. The flooding is ridiculous.
So just to answer your question, everyone be prepared. I expect to be back on tomorrow at 7 p.m. Pacific.
Okay.
7 p.m. Pacific.
Hey, yo, the chat is so funny. God.
What they talking about?
Somebody said
Somebody said what?
Wait, hold on. I'm trying to pull it up. I'll just not see it. Somebody said 1400 eHarmony.
Hey, man, listen.
1400 eHarmony.
Hey, listen. Every stream, either somebody in the chat is hitting on. So if for y'all that don't know, you want to go watch that players only show on Tiger Talk. Man, you had ladies all in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Look, you got every time Rochelle come on here, you got folks with their tongue hanging out their mouth. You know what I'm saying? And then now Austin, I just saw somebody say Austin cute. Boy, y'all you got all kinds of stuff going on right now, bro. Yeah, man.
That's a lot going on.
We changing lives and creating relationships on this channel. Now I'm just playing, man. But now, we got a plan
of the day today.
Okay, we got another Lexus. I don't think this is the old Lexus. Is this the other
You know
Lexus?
You know what? I ain't even finna try to figure it out.
I'm finna go to bed.
Because it went left last time. I see it, but I'm gonna leave that one alone.
And then bitch over here just egging it on until I going into overtime. Jesus Christ.
No, man. Anyway, we're gonna close this one out, man. We right at 3 hours. I appreciate y'all coming on. I'll be back on tomorrow, 2 hours sooner. So
hey, Okay, I'm gonna do that one tomorrow. I talk to y'all tomorrow. I mean, Lois with it. See y'all. What you mean tomorrow? See y'all later on today.
Yeah, today. That's fact. All right. See y'all tonight.
Bye.
Later.
Peace out, everybody.